Hey, folks. Right on time. For day 4, Kouri Richins Trial. I forgot to set an alarm for my little nap. So I'm a bit... There. Mo will join us. Well, her camera is already here, but she will join as soon as she can. All right. Day 3 ended abruptly with the judge having something, and then they sent everybody home. So,
Yeah, that was a bit odd, and we seem to be getting into something either toxicology-wise or something
yeah,
that
I wonder if
the
it
statement.
is cross-examination of the toxicologist or something of the sort. The lead CST, crime scene technician cross-examination.
Yeah, I mean, because she is she's got so many different things that she did, like the extractions and the
Yeah,
photographs.
extractions of everything, and I went back to and checked that again. I don't know if she has a constant smirk on her face or if she was just smirking as she said, "Oh, you mean the jail calls?" And
Yeah.
so that was really, really strange. Really, really strange. Hey,
Y
hey, Denise,
yeah, and
Papa
if
Princess
she's
Holly, yeah.
if she's been doing this job for a while, you'd think she would know not to mention that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time. And especially when the attorney tells her, let's be careful with the language here.
Yeah.
She knows. Everybody in the courtroom knows. Now, we have seen trials where the prosecution plays jail calls. So, yeah. Well,
Granny Smith, we don't know, but, the judge basically said the court had something that they couldn't get out of. They had a prior commitment.
yeah. That's about it, what I do know. But let's check what's going on today.
Our present
Oh,
0139. Counsel for the state are present. Counsel for the defense are present with Ms. Richins. Mr. Bloodworth, anything on the record before we begin this morning?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor?
No, sir.
Is Ms. Gibson close by?
She's ready.
Okay. Are we ready for the jury?
Yes.
I do. I'll get that happen. Ms. Nestor, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
okay. Continued cross-examination of Chelsea Gibson, lead crime scene technician. And hello, folks over at X. Hello, folks over at Rumble. And hello, folks here on YouTube.
Really nice.
Thanks, Brittany.
It's great. Much better.
You can.
One thing before the jury comes in. Bitch, I'm going to slap you if you do that again. No.
Feel free to have a seat. Thank you. Please have a seat. Good morning. Thank you for your patience. We will continue with cross-examination of Ms. Gibson. Ms. Gibson, you are still under oath. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Nestor, please proceed.
May it please the court. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're going to try this one more time. So when we were last speaking yesterday morning, we were talking about an individual from the United States Postal Service named Agent Travis Smoot that was present on the search on the 12th. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Oh yes, Mr.
Okay, and you
Smut.
mentioned that one of the reasons he was there was to just look for any evidence that might have come through the Postal Service, right?
Yes.
Well, was there another reason he was there?
I believe he was also there to test any drugs for narcotics.
Right. And the reason that you all asked him to do that, or well, I'm not going to say y'all anymore. The reason that he was asked to do that was that there was a thought there may be fentanyl in the home. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the reason that you all thought there might be fentanyl in the home, that you personally thought there might not be fentanyl in the home, or there might be fentanyl in the home, was because you all had been informed at that point from the medical examiner's office that there was a positive result for fentanyl in Mr. Richins' body. Is that correct?
Correct.
So on the 12th, when you and your team,
I'm sorry to interrupt, Ms. Master, but it's April 13th.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
I don't want to confuse the dates.
I apologize. I meant to say April 13th. Did I say March?
You said April 12th.
Oh, April
I just-
12th. Okay.
I don't want the dates to get confused.
Thank you.
Understood.
Thank you very much. April 13th. When you and your entire team were in the home on April 13th, all of you were aware that there had been a preliminary finding that fentanyl was at least partially responsible for Mr. Richins' death, correct?
Correct.
When you were there, you noticed, I'm sure, and you have noticed since you've done the Matterport videos, that there was a very large garage detached from the home behind the home, correct?
Yes.
And in that garage, did you all examine any vehicles that were in that garage?
Not that I recall.
Are you aware, or were you aware then of what vehicle Mr. Richins regularly drove in?
Not that I recall, no.
Did you know whether he had a work truck, personal truck? Did you know any of that?
I believe he had both.
And were those vehicles within, you're about a month away from his death, a little over a month and a week. Did anybody search his vehicles?
I'm not sure which one you're referring to. I believe we did search a vehicle that was inside the main garage of the home.
A personal vehicle, right?
I'm assuming it's a personal vehicle. I don't know for sure.
Were any of the vehicles that Mr. Richins drove in the detached garage searched?
I don't believe so.
I'm also interested in that warrant that you had on the 12th. It was also included, I did it again. It's because I have the 12th written on my paper, so I'm fixing it right now. The 13th. The warrant, the search on the 13th, it was also for electronics. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you were looking for electronics that could have belonged to either Mrs. Richins or Mr. Richins, correct?
Correct.
And did you find in the home Mr. Richins' computers?
I don't believe so in the home.
At some point, you did take Mr. Richins' computer into custody or into your custody, correct?
We've located a computer in the office shop. I'm not sure whose computer that one was, though.
But in fact, didn't you actually get the computer from Mr. Todd Gabler?
If that's who turned it in, yes. I'm not sure who exactly turned it in.
So
That
being
would
the
be
person responsible
the sister's
for
investigator.
everything that was checked in on the day of the 13th, when you all did this search, did anybody turn in a computer for Mr. Richins on that day?
I don't believe it was that day. I'd have to double check the records on which day it was booked into.
And if you check your records, would you be able to tell, strike that. So just to be crystal clear, on the 13th of April, Mr. Richins' computer was not in that home or the detached garage where his office was located, correct?
I don't believe so, but it's a large home and I'm not sure whose Who owns what?
Did you ever go back and get a warrant to search that truck that Mr. Richins drove on a regular basis?
Which truck are you referring to? The one that was in the home or outside?
The red truck.
Yeah, I believe we searched it that day.
The red truck?
I believe that's the one that was inside the garage.
Okay.
That caught
There
the
was a
attorney off
picture
guard.
in the,
Yeah.
well, strike that. We're not going to talk about that right now. Did you ever go retrieve any of Eric Richins' personal items, either vehicles, computers, anything, from his business partner, Kouri, right?
I did not personally know.
Do you know if anybody did and brought them to you?
I believe so, yes.
And what items were taken from Kouri Wright and brought to you?
I believe it was a computer or a hard drive from a computer.
And before, were you present when that hard drive was obtained from Kouri Wright?
No, I was not.
And just to keep the searches clear, when you were doing your Matterport, did you prepare kind of like a key that has all the purple dots are from this search, all the orange dots are from this day's search, all the green dots are from this day's search? Did you prepare a key like that?
Yes.
All right. Can we please pull up State's Exhibit 1-15 and just show it to the witness, please? Can you see that?
I can.
Is that the key that you prepared?
It is.
And it has a link on it where if you click on the link, it'll take you to those Matterport walkthroughs, right?
Correct.
Okay. And has this been altered in any way since you prepared it?
No.
Your Honor, at this point, I would move to admit State's Exhibit
Can we,
1.
sorry, before we do that, can we have a side note?
Yes?
Hold on. Let's make sure we know what we're asking for.
Oh, you mean with the judge? Or what are we asking?
Pause for just 1 second.
Okay.
Ms. Sherman,
Why
What the hell is a
why is
side
she
note?
asking for a side note? No, this is cross-examination. Answer the questions.
What? Does this count as a sidebar or a side note?
Well, they have to discuss it with the judge. What's this? What's this witness talking about? So yeah, sidebar counter 23. What the?
Now, Ms. Sherman, with that redaction, any objection to states 1-15?
I can't show it to the jury.
Hold on, not yet.
No, I need to clarify. I think I want to make sure this box is going to travel when we publish it. So just one moment. It will. Sorry.
That was strange.
May we approach?
Of course.
Well, now it's definitely a sidebar, but it's the same issue. But that's really strange.
What are we redacting?
Might be pictures of the kids or something of the sort. What?
I mean, that could make sense, but
Yeah. But that would have happened anyway. I'm wondering, why did a witness say, "Can I have a side note"? Did she mean to say sidebar? That a witness asks for it?
yeah, this is very strange.
Yeah.
Low 12-19-24, please. Perfect. Ms. Sherman, I need a yes or a no here.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they could just be in black, so we know that they're not just removed, so that it looks like a redacted version.
Sure.
That would be helpful.
And Any objection from the state?
No.
Okay. 1-15 as redacted is now published.
So
From there, Mr. My apologies.
no worries. Thank you, Your Honor. So that list right there, that is the list of the dates of every single time through December of 24 when the home was searched by law enforcement, correct?
Correct.
And in your Matterport,
Okay, March 4th, March 14th, May 8th, October 24th, October 31st.
Why would you have two grays next to each other when it looks like she went out of her way to kind of,
Yeah.
except for the pink and the magenta?
So they searched the house 9 times combined. How many times was after the private investigator were there and claimed he had found stuff?
Well, yeah, and who facilitated Cody Wright handing over a hard
Yeah.
drive? How did we, know that this came from his computer? I
Yeah.
mean, if he's just handing over a hard drive, I mean,
That-
I really hope someone starts explaining something soon.
Yeah.
videos which have been introduced, if the jury wants to use this key, they can go back and compare. The little pink dots were from the search on March 5th, and the magenta dots were from the search on August 9th, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Since this list was prepared, you all have been back to the home again, right?
Correct.
And what date did you return to the home that is not listed on this list?
I don't remember the exact date, but it was about a month or 2 ago.
So sometime in February of 2025 or
Correct.
6.
Yes, I believe it was February 6th around that time.
Okay. Were there any other searches after December 24 and between the one on February 6th of 26?
I don't believe so.
And every single one of the times that you guys went in this home, you're trying to find evidence about what happened in the 6 hours before Mr. Richins' body was discovered, right?
Correct.
And you kept going back and back and back.
Yes.
All right, I do want to talk a little bit. You can take it down. Thank you. I do want to talk a little bit about the Matterport. You mentioned you did some measuring
Correct.
with, is it the same device you do the video with that does the measurements?
Yeah, it's the Matterport.
Okay. And I believe you said you measured the distance from the master bedroom to the front door.
Correct.
And then from what is the second one you did?
There's one from the master bedroom to the kitchen, master bedroom to each boy's room.
Okay. And what's the purpose? Why did you make those measurements?
I was asked to try to figure out how far they were to correlate with data that was retrieved off of a cell phone.
Perfect.
Because you always walk in
Did
a
you also
straight
take
line
any
inside
measurements
your
from
house.
the master bedroom to the back porch door?
I have not, no.
Did you notice the day that you were there when Mr. Richards died? Did they have a dog?
I believe so, yes.
I like that defense
Did you
point.
also measure the distance from the master?
Sorry. What did you
I
say?
said I like that defense point, putting the dog in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a really good kind of reasonable doubt. I mean, the state has put in there she was wandering, maybe she let the dog out.
Yeah.
That's kind of a neutral, reasonable point.
Yeah. I also agree with Gigi here. They should have hammered down the fact that the cops didn't find a computer or hard drive on apparently the first 2 or 3 searches.
Well,
And then all of a sudden they get one from a private investigator.
yeah, I mean, if he didn't have a home office, then wouldn't they have gone to his business and served a search warrant there?
Yeah, and looked in his car. I mean, he's stonemason. He's probably on the road a lot.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we're gonna get to that, but I will say it as a person who doesn't know a lot, this really has hurt the state, in my opinion, having these disjointed, because all we've had thus far is the family thinks she's suspicious and has pushed the state into this.
Her bedroom to the master bathroom
I did not.
or to the hallway bathroom?
No.
Also, in your report from the search on the 13th, you mentioned that you all collected some hydrocodone pills. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Where did you find those?
Okay, my apologies, Ms. Nestor. Keep going.
Where did you find those pills?
I didn't personally find them, but they were located in the laundry room in the cabinet.
And how many hydrocodone pills did you find?
Like I said, I wasn't the one that found them. I collected them. I don't know the exact, approximately 10 around that.
And were they in a bottle or were they loose?
They were in a bag.
And in the garage, I know you were very careful about marking where every single thing was found. When these hydrocodone pills were found in the garage, what were they near?
They weren't in the garage. They were
I'm
in the
sorry,
laundry room.
the laundry room, which is right at the door where the garage starts, right?
It's near it, yes.
And what was it near?
It was inside the cabinet in the laundry room.
Up high?
Correct.
Up high is not a safe way to store drugs.
there any
I'm
way
just
to
going to throw it
tell
out there.
If a hydrocodone pill was purchased, if you find it loose like that, not in a bottle, is there any way for law enforcement to look at it and say, hey, this is bought on the street or this is bought in the drugstore?
Not that I know of on scene.
You also had a picture that you referred to when Ms. Shermanack was questioning you that had the picture of all the gummies on it. I believe it is exhibit number. Sorry, give me just a second. Thank you. 9-12. Can we put that up, Your Honor? It's been admitted.
Make sure it's the one you want before I show it to the jury.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yep. That's the one I want. The one that's on the screen. Can we publish that, Your Honor?
Any objection, Ms. Sherman?
No, Your Honor.
One moment.
And I need to approach the screen. Do I need permission for that? Or
No.
Okay.
Just make sure your mic is working. We're not going to pick you up.
I mean, the way she was
So,
talking, I thought we
this
were going to
picture that you
see
have in front of
tons
you,
and
You
tons.
told Ms.
Yeah.
Shavernak that all of these gummies were seized together. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, but I'm seeing these two little plastic baggies of gummies up at the top that are not labeled, that don't have any commercial labeling. Are you saying these two were all in the same place with all the rest of these?
Correct. That's what I was told.
So if there's a picture of these in the top of the kitchen where you actually have a dot above the fridge, then you would be incorrect that they were all found together.
That's a different package that was found above the fridge.
Oh, so there was at least 3 clear packages that had no commercial marking on them with
Correct.
gummies in them? Okay. And the gummies that are on the screen that have the red packaging, at least one of those was found in that green jacket in the closet, right?
Not these specific ones. That's an additional one that was located.
So there was another red bag of gummies.
Correct.
Did anybody take that green jacket into custody?
No.
Do you recall where in the closet it was as compared to near men's clothing or women's clothing?
I was in the the southeast corner of the closet.
Is that where the men's clothing was located?
I'm not sure if it was men's or women's, to be honest.
Okay.
How is that not clear? He was a stonemason. She was a slut. They kind of wear different type of clothing.
Well, it's also I cannot get over that. According to everything, these two were fairly good parents, and
Yeah.
they used the excuse they were up high. No, I mean, maybe there's a rule in their house that their kids actually listen, but yeah,
This-
no.
These high chairs here, you cannot use them to go and find stuff. Okay. Sure. It's
Yeah, I just
and just
it
loose in jacket pockets.
yeah, and then
And
having
stuff.
random hydrocodones everywhere and gummies everywhere. I mean, I don't have a problem with you using
Mm.
them. I don't have a problem with anyone using them, but it just doesn't coincide. The fact that he had all his force multipliers locked up, the fact that he had it just doesn't make sense.
No, I mean everything that was immediate danger was locked up, but the
Yeah.
gummies in every damn cupboard in the entire house.
Yeah, it's
And-
almost overkill. I
Yeah.
mean, I could see him keeping them in his truck. I could see them finding a shit ton. Dad, where?
Yeah, Kedibuk. Yeah, he was a stonemason. She was a slut. Yes, I know that. And most internet is screwing with her.
No.
Yeah, here's the thing. It might we question how did they have to search the place 7 to
No,
9
no.
times and finding new gummies every time, but not the computer or the hard drive or anything. And we keep coming back to, well, how come the PI found it? Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure how long was Kouri living in the house. Yeah, exactly. When did they actually find it? Was it before or after she was evicted from the house? And I mean, we're talking about between 7 and 9 search warrants in that house, and they seem to have found gummies and drugs each time. Either they are really shit at searching for stuff, or they were placed there, planted.
All right, now I want to move to the search that occurred on
Hi, Erica.
Can we put the key back up that we just had on the key? Make sure I have the right date. I don't want to say the wrong date. Get correct. Oh, there it is. March 14th of 2022, right? Is that the next one that was on your key?
Yeah, that's the second one, correct.
All right. What was the purpose of the search on March 14th, which was just about I think that's a typo because you
that
didn't.
is a typo. Yes.
Okay, can
It's
we
April 14th.
Can you pull that out, Katie? Can you pull that out? Make it bigger so the jury can see it. So where it says 3/14/22 sunflower yellow, that actually should read April 13th, right?
Correct.
So is that the only mistake on there?
I believe so.
Okay, just want to make sure the jury remembers that. All right, so the next search would have been May 8th of 2023, correct?
Correct.
And those are going to be forest green dots on your Matterport.
Correct.
And what was the purpose of going back to the house a couple months or a year later on May 8th of 2023? What were you looking for that time?
I believe that one was to obtain additional electronics and also documents and drugs.
And when you went to that search, was any fentanyl located in the home?
No.
All right. And then the next search you did, which was October 24th of 2023, what was the purpose of going back for that search?
I'd have to double check my notes. I believe that's one that we were collecting some more electronics.
All right.
Why didn't you collect them the first 2 times?
Yeah, I don't understand
Was there
why.
ever a time prior?
I mean, electronics should be collected immediately to avoid being tampered with.
Yeah,
And
why
here they
we-
are like, yeah, check over there and let's go home.
Yeah, I
And
mean, maybe is Utah different in that you have to have an individual search warrant? It can't just say like all electronics, known to be owned by so and so and so and so.
I am starting to ask myself that question as well, because if it depends. It's still what do you call it? How much of a suspicion did they have that this was a crime? I mean, he had fentanyl, and the only up until 2020, when was it? Up until her arrest. I mean, some things made them go for the arrest. But why not ask? We are looking for all electronics in this house because it was their house. Or we are going to look for all the drugs in that house. I'm not sure what's going on. Why they have to. As Erica says, well, if they weren't there at the time of death, but they're later, it's obvious that Eric didn't put them there. Yeah, but who put them there? Because at the first time, the officer said, well, we didn't have enough for a warrant, so they only took more or less what was in plain sight. And then they came back later. Let's see, when was it? Let's see let's check the dates here. So they came back March 4th, and then April 13th, and then May 8th. And then they marked everything with a different, depending on when she was caught. But I'm not entirely sure when was she evicted from the house, because it doesn't make sense if they find new stuff each search after each with each search, if she had no possibility of entering the house, then either they are shit at finding stuff or planted.
The jury remembers that. All right, so the next you went to that search, was any fentanyl located in the home?
No.
And then the next search you did, which was October 24th of 2023. What was the purpose of going back for that search?
I'd have to double check my notes. I believe that's one that we were collecting some more electronics.
All right. Was there ever a time prior to any of those? Well, let's just keep going. On the 31st, you remember why you guys were searching a week later? Why you went back?
I believe that one was also for electronics and or documents.
Prior to all of these searches and the ones that are listed below it.
Or I'm sorry, I believe those two in December were actually for some copper cups and drugs.
Okay. And the copper cups, you actually found them, right?
We found several, correct.
And where were they when you found them?
I believe on the first one, some were located upstairs in the kitchen.
And they were tested, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right. And so if Ms. Richins in any of her interviews stated that they had a gift of copper cups and had a drink that night, you found something that corroborated that part of her story, correct?
We found copper cups, correct.
All right. And if Ms. Richins gave interviews that said that her husband may have taken a gummy that night, you found gummies that could have corroborated that part of her story, right?
We found gummies.
Kouri might have done interviews at the time. Okay.
Yes.
And if she said that she pulled him on a sheet off onto the ground to try to start CPR, you found a sheet that corroborated that part of her story.
Correct.
And you measured the distances between the bedroom, between the children's rooms, not the whole house, but a good part of the house. And so there were steps that were recorded on her phone that were consistent with her moving around the house prior to calling 911, correct?
Correct.
So that corroborated her story that she had been somewhere other than the bedroom.
She's introducing her client's statements as hearsay through this witness.
Well, I think they've already all been brought up. Okay.
Overruled.
And then
Okay. Could be police interviews as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So they are actually doing really good with, because it's apparent that the state really don't want to play anything with except a few select items of Kouri Richins' statements. But now she's getting more statements in via this witness. That's interesting. That's an interesting tactic, and it seems to work. But I'm still weirded out with that. And I understand they are going to go into how many times were you in there after a PI told you that he found stuff. That is apparently what they're going for. But wouldn't that be suspicious in itself? That, hey, didn't we search that place 4 times already? And Mo's gone again. Didn't we search that place 4 times already? Why does he keep finding stuff? This is suspicious.
in these searches that you all were conducting, was there ever a time where you were conducting a search because the private investigator had revealed to law enforcement that there were items worthy of going back to the house for?
Yes,
How many times did that happen?
at least one that I recall.
All right, I want to talk about that one time. Does that involve the letter that was recovered from the bed?
Okay, there's 2.
Okay, 2 times. So tell me about the first one that you remembered.
I believe it was a voice recording or a recording device that was located.
And you all got information from a private investigator that had been in the scene on the house that he'd found something he thought you wanted to see.
Correct.
And so you issued a warrant and went and picked it up.
I did not issue the warrant, but somebody else did.
Of course. I'm sorry. That's inaccurate. A warrant was issued and
Correct.
you guys went in. All right. And the second time, what did that involve?
A letter that was located.
And the letter that was located in this search, and do you remember the date of the search? Want me to refresh your memory?
If you could, yes, please.
Sure, no worries. 11/7/24.
Okay.
Your purple day. It's your purple dot day. My understanding is a letter was recovered on the foot of the bed, of Eric's side of the bed.
Correct.
Now, the jury has seen multiple photos from that night where there's clearly no letter on that bed.
Correct.
And there were several, at least 7 searches prior to November of 24 where that letter was not seen on the bed, right?
Correct.
And that included walkthroughs of defense counsel, walkthroughs of prosecution team, you doing Matterport videos where there's no letter on the foot of the bed, right?
Correct.
And then when all of a sudden, when you guys get there in November, there's this letter on the bed.
Yes.
And you took that into evidence.
Yes, we did.
Same when you went and you got the tip off that there's a recording device, you went and were you showed exactly where it was by the private investigator?
Yes.
How many times when you all searched the house was the private investigator there and present?
I don't know. I
Was
wasn't
it-
told.
When you saw him with your own eyes, right?
Just the one time.
Just once that you saw him.
Correct.
At some point, and I just need to clarify this for the jury too, in addition to the physical evidence that's seized at the scene, documentary evidence, electronic evidence, you also were in charge of maintaining video footage of witness interviews. Is that right?
Correct.
And every witness that was interviewed that had an audio or videotape, you saved it and did all those procedures we talked about at the very beginning of your testimony.
Correct.
At some point, did you become aware that 2 witness interviews, the audio or the video was missing?
I vaguely recall that, yes.
Does it refresh your memory if I tell you that you were unable to locate interview footage for witnesses Nick Bon Savage, and Nancy Peterson?
I don't know for sure if those were missing or if they hadn't been booked in yet.
Have you ever located those 2 interviews to this day?
I'm unsure.
Also, one of the items you recovered on a search on September, well, I'm not sure of the date, so I'm just going to say one of the searches you seized or took custody of an Apple Watch that belonged to Eric Richins. Is that right?
Correct.
And when you took custody of that Apple Watch, it had a massive amount of data on it, correct?
I wouldn't say a mass amount of data. It had a gigabytes worth of data.
So it wasn't deleted.
No.
So if someone testified that the Apple Watch had been deleted, that might not be true. Wasn't true because you got it.
On Eric's Apple Watch,
Mhm.
we had very little data off of it.
You had how much data?
I don't recall the exact amount.
But you had data on it.
We had some data, yes.
So it wasn't deleted.
I don't recall if anything was deleted off of it.
Thank you.
I think the defense is doing a good job showing
Yeah.
that the family had an axe to grind.
In addition to the computer that Todd Gabler turned over to law enforcement that had originally belonged to Eric, did Todd Gabler take physical possession of any evidence first before giving it to the law enforcement? Do you know besides the computer?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you. One of the things you found on the search in November 7th of 2024 you all found what's called an epinephrine medical injection unit, right?
Correct.
And can you tell us what that is?
I believe that one was just a EpiPen that's used to administer insulin.
Or maybe not insulin, maybe something for an allergic reaction.
Yes.
Lady, there's a different, it's different piece of machinery to administer insulin and an EpiPen. Two different things. But I remember Mo still being weirded out with the insulin stuff, with his high blood sugar. Why is she saying insulin?
It just, again, I was thinking of if I'm rolling the dice, if I'm Kouri Richins and I'm going to try to shuffle my husband off this mortal coil, and
Yeah.
I want it to look like an accident, I'm using insulin. I'm not using fentanyl. I'm not inviting more people if I have ready access to something easier that
Now, criminals are rarely smart.
they
So you're
mostly
smarter
write
than a
books.
criminal, Mo. Congratulations.
Well, yeah, I also wouldn't write a book how I could have done it, you know.
But I'm still a bit confused on where they are going with this, unless they're with this the PI. Why did he find stuff that you didn't find? Wasn't that suspicious?
Yeah, and it seems convenient. Again, I'm kind of with the defense that every time the state goes there, there's just automatically new stuff that fits whatever they want to find.
Yeah.
Never seen the movies before, or the movie before. Solities.
And that's something that you normally find on a scene if someone's severely allergic.
Correct.
And where did you find that epinephrine medical injection?
I believe it was in the kitchen. I believe it was inside the refrigerator.
Wasn't there also one located in the master bathroom?
At one point, I believe so.
Which you searched previously and didn't find?
Or did they
What?
take note of it and not take
Yeah, it could be that.
someone makes okay, the state needs to, again, as a person who doesn't know all the deep lore, this is looking like the most haphazard investigation to rival Canton.
Yeah.
And you did not take that into evidence?
No.
You just noted it?
Correct.
You also found syringes in the master bedroom?
They never took it into evidence.
Yes, in the master bedroom.
I'm sorry.
Did you test it for fentanyl? Did you swab it for fingerprints? Or did you, hey, that's an EpiPen, and then fucked off?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're trying to figure out if you're accusing Kouri of poisoning him, I mean, what better way to poison than to tamper with an EpiPen?
Yeah.
I really this is why Mr. Mo gets scared of me, because I'm like, well, what better way than to tamper with an EpiPen? He's like, you scare me a little, and I'm like, I know.
You're just going to protect your daughters and your sons.
Yeah.
Your daughters, hey, if your man is ever an asshole, and to your boys, if you get a wife, she might want to kill you. This is how you spot the red flags.
Yeah.
Sorry, master bathroom?
There was some in the master closet.
And where in the closet were the syringes located?
At the very top shelf in the northwest corner.
Up high.
Correct.
Wasn't that the corner you found stuff in, and you didn't think of, I wonder what's on that shelf? I can't be bothered.
Also, you found syringes and no one said, hey, why the hell does this family have a bunch of syringes in the closet? YOLO.
And did you all take those into evidence?
Yes.
Did you test them
No. They were unused.
and destroyed them?
They were not destroyed, no.
You still have them.
Correct.
And there was one syringe that you found in the master bathroom, I believe, that did have residue of substance in it, right?
There was a syringe located in the kitchen.
Okay. And was that tested?
That one was yes.
And what was the substance that was determined to be inside that syringe?
I don't recall what was the positive.
When you were searching the home, did you also find oxycodone pills?
I'm unsure.
Why?
And the ketiapine pills that we talked about yesterday that was in the bag that we had you open and untape?
The quetiapine?
The ketiapine pills that were in the bag that we opened, actually I think it was yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, but it had some little substance in it that was,
2 half pills.
that's what I was about to ask.
Quetiapine.
Quetiapine.
Yes.
And that pill was cut in half, correct?
I don't recall if it was. It's in 2 halves right now. Yes.
Okay. So the pill was in 2 halves.
Correct.
And you didn't do that.
No.
And you've protected that, so that must be the condition it was in when you got it.
Yes.
All right. Court's indulgence for just 1 minute. I think I'm wrapping up.
Okay.
She has the perfect 5 o'clock shadow if she wasn't a girl. I'm sorry. I know. Look, those are the things that I often shouldn't say.
I believe, if it refreshes your memory, that the last search that was conducted on the house might have been February 9th. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
And when you went and searched the house on February 9th, what did you take away from the house on the 9th?
A black Under Armour jacket
Where did you find that jacket?
in one of the downstairs bedroom closets.
And how many jackets would you say were in that house 3 years after the death,
There
4
was
years?
a lot of jackets.
And that's the jacket you picked and you took it with you out of the house.
Correct.
And I want to be really specific about the search of the truck. So there were 2 trucks. One was a brown work truck and one was a red truck. Which is the truck that you believe was searched when you were present and logging in all the search materials?
I believe it was red. It was the truck that was inside the garage.
So you have no notice or no note anywhere that the brown truck that Eric spent all day, every day in was ever searched on the day of his death or in the month after.
I didn't personally know.
And you didn't note it down because that would be your job, right?
If I didn't search it, then it wouldn't be my job to note it down.
Well, if someone inventoried anything out of the truck, it would be, right?
If they took anything out of the truck, yes.
Okay. One moment, Your Honor.
Are THC gummies legal in Utah? Because if they're not legal, I doubt he would have them in his work truck.
Yes, they are legal.
Oh,
There was a canine search run at one point with a dog.
Yes.
When was that approximately? You don't need to know the exact date.
That was on the April 14th of 2022 search.
And was the canine just run through the home?
I can't attest to where it ran. I believe it just ran through the entire home.
To your knowledge, did the canine go into any vehicles on that day?
I'm unaware.
Thank you, Your Honor. I attended the witness. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ms. Sherman.
Yeah, I'm keep wondering why this might be a preparation witness in order for them to maybe try to impeach somebody else, but I would hammer this down. Why do you? So you found this on that date, yeah, but not on any of the other dates. You found this on that date, yes, but not on any of the 5 previous searches. I would make that overly obvious.
I mean, or maybe she's looking at the faces of the jury and they're looking kind of like me, like, why the hell do we keep going back? Why did we get this jacket? Maybe she's reading because the jury is kind of, again, for the state, I don't know that this was the way I would have started this trial, especially knowing that the defense is going to attack the very commingled kind of aspect of this, investigation. I wouldn't have started with this because you're playing exactly into what the defense told the
Yeah.
jury to be paying attention to at the time when you're going to have their most attention.
Yeah. I mean, this is first in the morning. They are paying attention.
And it's the first part of the trial.
Yeah. I mean, I understand they want to get rid of this and then go into the heavy stuff, but it's like storytelling. You have to
Yeah.
have a great start, a story to tell, and a great ending.
Yeah,
This
so
is
maybe
not. I can't say say this is a good start for the state, because the things. Okay, his family hated her long before he was dead. Took him to a divorce attorney 2 years prior, and I'm not sure if those fake loan things were before or after that, or if they were just generally just disliking her
well,
or
but
whatever.
is it fraudulent if she has his power of attorney? I mean, I know she didn't ask him, so it is fraudulent.
Mm,
I don't know because the
mm.
how were things commingled, I
I mean,
guess, is the other.
yeah, the banks would dislike it at least.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying this is never legal advice. Just because
No.
you have power of attorney, don't screw people over.
Yeah. Yeah. And we are 20 minutes behind. And I'm already at 1.25 speed. All right, let's see. Redirect.
Ms. Gibson, let's talk about March 4th. That's the day that of 2022. That's the day Eric Richins died. Did you have a search warrant that day?
No, we did not.
Were you legally permitted to search the house for anything you wanted?
No, not at the time.
Were you looking for prescriptions of Eric Richins?
Yes.
And you weren't looking for prescriptions of Kouri Richins?
No.
Why not?
A little closer, yeah.
How's that? Are we better?
Yeah, thank you very much.
And you weren't looking for prescriptions of Kouri Richins?
Correct.
Why not?
Typically, when we have a death investigation, we only look for the decedent's medications or any other medicine that could be potentially misused.
Because no time in history a spouse have taken their partner's medicine. No, never happened. Never happened in the history of humankind. Has it ever occurred to anybody? Oh, look, my spouse have happy pills. Shump.
Well, I mean, it's all fun and games until you take your husband's Cialis and have to go into the ER after 4 hours.
No, this is not the PI. This is the. This is Chelsea Gibson, the lead crime scene technician, who is certified in everything, in taking photos, collecting evidence, extracting recordings from phones,
Cosplaying as
Celebrite.
a young
all the
Danny
things.
DeVito in a Wayne's World,
Yeah, she's certified in
mood.
everything. So, and I'm.
MLS, the Antichrist. So that's why we don't do that.
Mm.
Mo was about to say, yeah, it's all fun and games until someone gets pregnant. Yeah, that's the last time I play lawn darts.
Honey, check the back of the fridge.
Hey, had condoms all over the house. They were just always in high places, so I could never get to them. Damn you, Kouri Richins.
Oh. Where's the condoms, honey? Bottom drawer. Okay. Sean's chat last night had some really nasty things to say about her. Which one? The witness or Kouri
The
Richins?
attorney.
The
Yeah.
attorney.
I
All
think it
right.
was this witness. Like I said, I can't figure out if it looks like she has a 5 o'clock shadow, so I don't know if she's actively trying to be a drag king or if this is something she's embarrassed about
Yeah.
because it looks like it's very defined.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds me of, look, okay, my one friend was getting married and she had a bachelorette party and they got some of those stupid body paints. So
Yeah.
like a
That
moron,
doesn't go. That doesn't
I
go away.
decided to give myself a handlebar mustache for, no reason. And yeah, that stuff does not come off.
Mm. And now for the past hour or so, yeah, she has this constant smirk. So that's
Yeah,
her actual face.
yeah, she looks like she should work with the dead. Like she's not a people person. You can tell.
Well, yeah.
I think we did note some prescription bottles of Kouri Richins just to verify, make sure there wasn't an overdose possibility on those.
And you didn't find any hydrocodone that day.
No.
So let's move forward 5 weeks. April 13th,
Practical.
2022. That's the first time the house is searched by a search warrant.
Correct.
You weren't in the house between March 4th of 2022 when Eric died and April 13th of 2022.
Correct.
There was no search warrant on the home in that time frame.
Correct.
And you went back on April 13th with a search warrant looking for fentanyl
Yes.
because fentanyl killed Eric Richins.
Correct.
So you waited over a month. But the
Yeah, why?
toxicology result came back after a day. And you waited over a month.
Yeah, nothing about this is mathing.
Yeah.
Now, Ms. Nestor asked you about a truck being searched on April 13th.
Yes.
And the truck that was searched was a red truck.
I believe so.
When you were at the home during any of those searches, but in particular on April 13th, was there a brown truck at the home?
I don't recall.
If there was a brown truck there and something was found in it, would you have been made aware of that?
Yes.
If we could, Scott, put up Exhibit 1-16 and 1-18 side by side. Are they up? I can see one picture. I messed something up.
Is this what you wanted to show the witness?
Uh-oh, Judge Tech God.
Yes, Scott, is there a second page to 1-18? Okay, go. That's the view that I would like, please. If we could publish that to the jury.
Any objection, Ms. Nestor?
No. So when we're looking at these two photographs, the photograph on the left, I just want to make this clear for the jury. These items were located on April 13th, 2022.
Correct.
And the items on the left were located in the cupboard above the toilet.
Correct.
The item on the right was located in the kitchen.
Correct.
Now, you also testified with Ms. Nestor, there was hydrocodone found in a baggie,
Yes.
and that was located kind of like a mudroom area.
Yeah.
Were those items sent to be tested at the lab?
I believe so, but I'm not positive.
Scott, if we could show the witness Exhibit 1-17, please. Is there a second page to that one? Okay, that view is fine. If we could show that to the jury, please.
No objection.
Is this a photograph that you took?
Yes.
Is that Did you look at that jacket?
I didn't look inside the jacket.
Not inside the jacket, but did you look at the jacket?
Not really, no.
Could you tell if it was a men's jacket or a women's jacket?
I can't tell, no.
You can take it down. Now, I want to talk about the black jacket, the Under Armour jacket. You went back and retrieved that jacket from the home
Correct.
with a search warrant.
Yes.
Why did you retrieve that jacket out of all the jackets in the home?
It was the jacket that a pair of tweezers and a small piece of plastic was located in.
So Ms. Nestor has gone over these multiple searches with you. Why do you keep going back to the house?
We obtained additional information that could potentially lead to something else that we could have missed originally. We're looking for different items.
The investigation, is it developing between those searches?
Yes.
You're receiving new information?
Yes.
And we talked about some phone calls that you had retrieved and booked into evidence. Were you ever, is that correct?
Yes.
Were you ever involved in downloading, storing, retrieving, preserving any secret phone calls?
What do you mean secret phone calls?
Yes or no?
No.
Give me just a minute.
What was that for?
What the hell?
Secret phone calls?
Those are all my questions for you. Thank you.
What?
You can just go to redirect,
I will,
please.
absolutely. So what you just said to Ms. Chevernick, you would go back in case you missed things,
And we obtained additional information
in case you missed it.
with additional information.
And you had to do that, looks like a minimum of 10 times.
Yes, we kept obtaining additional information.
So each time you went back, you found things you'd missed before?
It's things that weren't being looked for before.
Okay. At the very beginning of Ms. Chevernick's questions, she mentioned that you were not legally authorized to search the home on the day of the death pursuant to a warrant, correct?
Correct.
However, you can certainly legally search a home if someone consents and says, hey, search my home, right?
Correct.
Okay. And Ms. Richins didn't stop anyone from searching anything in that house, did she?
I
At
didn't
any
have
point.
I didn't have any interaction with her, so I'm unaware.
I mean, she didn't stop you.
Correct.
And you knew when you arrived, because you were there to help Detective Woody, you knew from the minute you got there that somebody was making allegations that she was involved in the death from the minute you got there, right?
Not the minute I got there, no.
How soon after you got there?
I don't recall how long it had been. I was just there to assist Detective Woody, and there were some suspicious circumstances.
And you knew that day, right?
I know there was some allegations, yes, that day.
Did you ever go to Ms. Richins and say, may I please photograph your bathroom? May I please photograph your kitchen sink? May I please have those drink cups that are in the sink? Did you ever do any of that?
No.
Okay. I think that's all I have. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Reneke.
Okay, that was a bit better.
Yeah.
I needed a bit more of that regarding. Okay, now the jury knows you were there at least 10 times, and you found new stuff all the time. Yeah, after we obtained new information, like what? You
Well,
found
and
guns on 3 separate occasions.
yeah, and the defense makes a good point. You know, she wasn't objecting. Why not? If you knew that things were suspicious, just baseline boilerplate, this relatively healthy, you know, physically active man drops dead. You know, you've got these serious allegations from family members. You know, why not take those cups if she's not going to say anything? Now, I mean, hindsight is always 2020.
Now, it is a bit of risk taking, because if they ask for permission, she might just say no, and then they can't look anywhere.
Yeah. So,
But then
and
again,
I
they
mean-
would have a search warrant that day.
well, and to be very fair with what they found, the hydrocodone,
Yeah.
you know, older, they could have been assuming that if they find anything, it's going to be that.
Yeah. So 10 times they went back. Up until February 9th of this year, when they took
Yeah.
a jacket. Why? Why that jacket?
Well, and what do the tweezers and the plastic have to do with anything?
Yeah.
I mean, because they made a point to explain that that was the jacket where they found the tweezers and the plastic, but what does the tweezers and the plastic have to do with anything in this case?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you in chat might have seen J.K. Debug refer to us as Santa Claus and Sailor Mo.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. I feel suno.com. This is an AI Santa Claus and Sailor Mo.
It will be interesting to see which way
Watching.
AI takes Sailor Mo, because if we get a sea shanty, I'm in. Well, not being a street pharmacist, does one handle the big F with tweezers and plastic? Because, you know, the states made a point to say that Kouri was vain. Well, I'm sure that a vain woman would probably carry around tweezers because, ladies, you know, we always catch that one chin hair that grows when we're out in public. So if I'm the defense, I'm going full L from, you know, Legally Blonde. She's just vain. She was going to pluck her eyebrows. Or, like this witness, her mustache.
Okay, folks, if this is your first time here, for you who have been here more than twice, you know, I use Suno, SUNO, link in the description below, because I'm having fun asking this AI music maker to make songs about the trials I'm covering. And let's see what it came up with this time.
Ooh.
Play. Come on, play. Play. Refresh.
Very anime.
Snowstorm on the TV glow, red scarf, crescent bow, Santa Claus with a candy cane, then Sailor Mo hits pause again. Hey! Timeline tangle like tinsel on the floor. Where's the motive? I still want more. Santa flipping through those files so fast. Who checked the bottles? Who asked the past? Mo draw stars on a legal pad. Did they chase every clue she had? Screenshots, text logs, late night calls. Did they map every crack in those walls? Santa Claus there, Mo, shouting at the screen. We need to know. Did they check every shadow, every sign? We'll skip frames in the storyline. Just as meters starting to glow. Hearts on fire in the living room row. Anime eyes locked on the show. Santa Claus and Sailor Mo.
Oh, we are performing at Eurovision. You have no idea.
Sketching
On
out a
skate.
chain. Phone ping, slips, what's the trail? Who wrote the tale if the facts are frail? Santa slam, Coco leans in close. Where are the notes from the first diagnosis? Did they test what they couldn't see, or just trust what was easy to believe? Santa Claus ain't low, shouting at the screen. We need to know. They chase every shadow, every sign, or skip frames in the storyline. Truth or plot, high or low, the counting.
I might not be Mr. Beast, but I'm going to have a manga.
Yep.
On the show. Santa Claus and Sailor Mo.
Yeah, this will be a separate video.
We need to have a fundraiser to get Fiverr to get animation for this.
My heart, Mo cries, cutscene gaps and shouting at the screen. We need to know. We need to know. Did they chase every shadow, every sign, or fade out on the steepest climb? If truth is heavy, let it show. Let the whole strange story glow. Anime hearts won't let it go. Oh, Santa Claus and Sailor Moon.
This is clearly the new intro. Tomorrow we will have a new intro.
I know. I'm torn because this is like a bucket list. This is as close as I'm probably going to get to having my own like fan club and, K-pop future. But I also feel like this is why the Anunnaki won't come back to give us more advanced technology. Like, this is what we do with AI.
Oh. I mean, this is not just a Kouri Richins trial. This week, every time we have a collaboration, we have an
Yes,
intro. Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. All right, and we are even further behind.
Can't imagine how any of that happens. Us? Behind? With
What?
Okay,
What?
you know what her problem is she reminds me of Crowley from Good Omens, which is not a good thing,
Oh,
but she'd make an awesome Crowley.
JKD Buck, you know what to do. You know what to do. If you're still here, you know what to do.
I can't go to Georgia now. I'm not going to be able to go to Utah. I mean, there's very few places I can go where I haven't made fun of important people or people that can set me up for a felony.
Crowley from Good Omens. Good Omens is a TV series.
And based on a book by, I think it's Terry Pritchett and
Yeah,
someone else.
yeah. I think they have 2 or 3 seasons now.
Yes. So I believe he is David Tennant, but he has like black and red hair in all of his iterations throughout history. So she just reminds me of Crowley, which is not quite flattering to her
No,
or David Tennant, to be honest.
no. Holly Mac says, "Mo, you'll be safe here in Nova Scotia." That's in the Canadian part of America.
Well, I did ask Elon Musk if Trudeau and Katy Perry are reproducing to send them to Mars. So
all right.
Yes or no?
We have to get back to trial.
Okay, Ms. Gibson, you can step down.
Hey, she can
Things
step
in your
down.
Custody with you.
Yep.
Very good.
Am I released from my subpoena? Or am I
I'm actually not sure. Let me ask. It's a fair question.
If we could just not release her, but we promise if we need her, we'll give her much advance notice that she needs to come back.
So you're not released. We'll make sure you get fair notice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And if she could be advised not to discuss her testimony.
Yeah. Counsel, would you approach?
Yes.
Yeah. Did they proffer her as an expert in anything at the beginning of her? Do you remember that?
I don't
Or
believe they
if she is
proffered
one
her.
of these that are an exception? But I understand because they don't want her back on rebuttal prepared.
Well, yeah, so I would. Does the sequestration also include the state then? Is that what the defense is trying to counteract? Her being able to go
Yeah.
back and.
Yeah, I think so because I mean the sister was the state witness, but this is a law enforcement, and they generally, unless asked for, generally they are not included. And sidebar counter 24.
You're free to go. Thank
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, without the sequestration. Okay.
Ms. Sherman, Mr. Bloodworth, the state's next witness.
Dr. Peterson.
Okay.
Dr. Peterson. Is that the toxicologist? Maybe.
Go look at one piece of evidence and bring it up for this examination. So could I just have a minute or two? To
Yeah,
talk?
you know what, folks? We'll just let you stretch your legs for 5 minutes. All rise for the jury, please.
Hey.
The court will be in recess until Mr. Burmester, why don't you do that, and I'll give Mr. Bloodworth the benefit of the record. How about that?
Okay.
Very good. Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, I appreciate that. I've actually asked Ms. Payer for a quick dirty of the transcript. I think that would help the argument. I don't have it yet.
No problem. We'll do it later.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll be in recess until 9:30.
What was that all about? Are they
Yeah,
having
are we
an
doing?
argument of what was said at one point in time, maybe?
Yeah, I was wondering if we were having maybe a voir dire of this expert. Maybe the defense has some questions
Yeah.
about their expertness.
Yeah, maybe. Let's skip ahead so we are less behind.
Okay. We need Mr. Burmester. Peggy. Tom, would you get the jury line for me? Oh, thank you. Sir, if you just wait in the gallery for just a second.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right there is fine. Okay, Mr. Burmester, are we ready for the jury? Okay, let's bring the jury in, please. Have a seat, folks. Thank you. All right, have a seat. Thank you. Mr. Burmester, the state's next witness, please.
The state calls Brianna Peterson.
Okay. Dr. Peterson, if you'd step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury? Yes. Thank you. Please have a seat.
Hello, doctor. Can you please state your full name and spell your last name for the record?
Brianna Lynn Peterson, Peterson.
Are you employed, ma'am?
Yes.
How are you employed?
I'm a forensic toxicologist with NMS Labs.
How long have you been a forensic toxicologist?
Over 20 years.
And with NMS?
I've been with NMS since June of 2021.
Okay. So you were working there in March of 2022?
Correct.
What is a forensic toxicologist?
Forensic toxicology, you analyze biological samples for the presence or absence of drugs and alcohol.
And what is your education, briefly?
I received my bachelor's degree in chemistry from the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse in 1997, a master's degree in forensic science from the University of Illinois at Chicago in 1999, and a PhD in toxicology from the University of Georgia in 2007.
Since becoming a forensic toxicologist 20 years ago, have you had training, continuous training?
Yes, so throughout my career, I've received training specific to the chemical extractions that are to be performed on the biological samples, the instrumentation that's used for the analysis, and then also pharmacology for the interpretation of the drug and ethanol results and how they might apply to either impairment or a medical legal death investigation.
So have you had a chance to, this is kind of a funny question, have you had a chance to check the data from biological samples?
Yes.
About how many times have you done that?
So my primary job duty is case review. So on average, I probably review 12,000 cases a year with NMS Labs.
And have you ever testified before as an expert in a criminal case?
Yes, I have.
About how many times?
Approximately 160.
How does the toxicology process work? I mean, how do you get it, at whose request, and what happens to it?
So NMS receives samples from various clients like medical examiners, coroners, law enforcement, hospitals. So we receive the evidence and the client will request specific testing to be performed.
And you said they come from all over the country?
Correct.
And so how do they get there?
So they can be shipped via FedEx, UPS, hand delivery, US mail.
Then once they arrive at NMS, what happens to the sample?
We have a specimen processing department that will open up the packaging, compare the evidence against the information that was provided by the client on a request form to make sure that the information matches. And then we create our own unique case. We have an electronic laboratory information management system where we'll input all the information provided to us, what testing was requested, and then we give each case a unique 8-digit number that we barcode. So all of the evidence is barcoded so it can be tracked throughout the time in the laboratory.
Once they receive it and process it as you've just described, then is it secured someplace?
Yes, so it's a secure facility in general. And then, so the building is secure. And then the laboratory also has limited access to the people that need to use the laboratory. And then where the evidence is stored in like walk-in freezers or fridges, that also requires like a prox card access. So it's secure and then limited to staff that need access to those areas.
So when it comes to testing, what happens? We heard about some gray vials and stuff, for example. What happens to how does it get into the laboratory?
So for this case, we received 2 blood samples. They were both in gray top vials. So each vial is going to get its own unique barcode number. And then when testing is going to be performed, we will take out a small volume of blood that's needed for the test. So we have the original container that was received, and we just remove out or aliquot the amount of volume that's needed for the test. And then, sorry, that's placed into a clean new test tube that also is barcoded and tracked.
Then this aliquot is forwarded to the lab for the scientist to run through the instruments?
Yes, so the aliquot is given to a staff member who will perform the specific test following a standardized operating procedure.
Okay. Is it run by itself or in batches of cases?
So we run batches. So there's going to be many other unknown case samples. And then also every batch will have a set of standards and controls that is also run concurrently with the unknown cases.
So when the instrument runs its test on any particular sample, how is the data entered?
So everything is being tracked by that unique case number that we gave it. Once an extraction is performed, the sample is run on an instrument. The instrument has inputted, like they scan the barcode to tell the instrument this is, this vial is this case number. After the data is reviewed, it's sent electronically from the instrument to our electronic laboratory information management system that stores the results. So it's always just following our unique case number.
Is there someone near in time who then reviews that data to make sure that it was processed properly?
Yes, so after the person in the laboratory performs their procedure, it runs on an instrument. When the instrument is done running the entire batch, someone's going to review all of the data for the knowns to make sure that the positive controls were positive, the negatives were negative, and then that all of the unknown cases, that any results that were found meet the acceptance criteria for reporting. So they'll look at the batch in its entirety to make sure that it's acceptable based on those standards and controls. And then when they're done, a second person is going to do the exact same thing. So it's like a double check of their work before that batch is released and those results sent to the computer system.
And that's the same process for each test that you run on all the various substances?
Correct.
Okay. When do you come into the picture?
So after all testing has been completed for a case, then in my role as a toxicologist, I'm going to review the data from all of the testing that was performed for this specific case. I also have access to the administrative information provided by the client on that request form. So I'm making sure that the correct testing was performed that was requested. So I review everything and then I will issue a final toxicology report with the findings from all of the testing.
So in this particular case, you received some samples from the Utah Medical Examiner on March 8th.
Correct.
Okay. And it was assigned the unique number at that point.
Correct.
And what did you receive?
We received 2 tubes of blood, vitreous fluid, urine, liver tissue, and gastric fluid.
Okay. And initially, what were you asked to do?
Initially, it was just requested that we perform a test that screens for alcohol and drugs in one of the blood samples.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Okay. In the screening, were any of those did any of those come up positive for substances that you subsequently tested a confirmatory test?
Yes.
Okay. And tell the jury about that.
So we first perform a broad drug screen that looks for hundreds of different drugs. And then based on those results, if there's any positive findings, then we will perform a second confirmation test that's more specific and sensitive for that drug or drug class. And so that's, we're taking a separate aliquot, performing a separate test, running on another instrument to confirm those original screening results.
And in this case, what did you find in the confirmatory test?
Fentanyl and norfentanyl.
Okay. And did the confirmatory test identify levels?
Yes, so fentanyl was reported at 15 nanograms per milliliter and norfentanyl at 3.3 nanograms per milliliter.
What is norfentanyl?
Norfentanyl is a metabolite of fentanyl. So when your body is trying to eliminate drugs, they'll break them down into a different form called metabolites sometime that are easier for the body to excrete. So it's inactive, it doesn't cause any effects, but it just shows that some fentanyl has been metabolized to norfentanyl.
Did you screen for hydrocodone?
Yes.
And did the screen identify anything for further testing?
No.
Any other opioids tested in the screening?
Yes.
And any others besides fentanyl positive for further testing?
No.
Do you know how long hydrocodone stays in the body that you're able to find out in the subsequent toxicology test?
So hydrocodone has a half-life of maybe 4 to 6 hours. So a half-life refers to how long does it take for the concentration to go in half. And usually drugs will be completely eliminated from your body in 5 half-lives. So if someone took a dose of hydrocodone, we would expect it all to be eliminated within 20 to 30 hours based on that 4 to 6 hour half-life times 5.
Okay. When a person dies, does it freeze in place whatever is there? I mean, you don't continue to eliminate it, or it doesn't evaporate once the blood is drawn out. It freezes it in place. Is that correct?
In general, it's going to be a snapshot of what was going on. There are some drugs that might have limited stability, like cocaine can be broken down after death just due to enzymes that are present that can break it down into its metabolite. So there are a few drugs that we know have limited stability in the biological samples after death, but for the most part, yes, it's, your body has stopped working, like it's no longer going to be metabolizing, etc.
Is that true for opioids then?
That it should be a snapshot of them, yes.
Yeah, okay. Have you ever heard of a principle or a theory or something called postmortem redistribution?
Yes.
Can you give a brief explanation of what that is?
So postmortem redistribution, so after someone dies, the pH of your blood starts to change and the permeability of the tissues isn't maintained the same. So it means if there was like drugs stored in like major organs like your heart or your lungs, they might start to seep out of those organs and go into the neighboring blood. And so this means like they're being redistributed. So maybe there was a concentration of drugs in your heart, and now after death, due to the changes the body might be undergoing, they might go into the blood and increase the concentration. So the blood might not be, in the concentration that's there, might not be an exact representation of the concentration at the time right before death, right? So it might have increased due to the tissues releasing some of their drug stores into that blood sample.
When you obtain the blood, when the person, the OME or whomever is obtaining the blood, does it, after death, does it matter where they obtain it from with regards to this redistribution?
Post-mortem redistribution should occur less if you take from a peripheral blood source like the femoral vein, because those veins aren't as close to the major organs, versus if you take blood from a central source like a cardiac, that is closer to your heart and all the other organs. So it's more likely to have post-mortem redistribution in a central blood source compared to a peripheral, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen in a peripheral blood source.
Okay. So does the literature say, identify what is a lethal dose of fentanyl?
So studies are published that provide concentrations of drugs found where it's been determined that fentanyl contributed to the death. So there are studies that give these concentration ranges, yes.
And does it vary from person to person?
Yes, so based on an individual's history of use with the drug, they might have a tolerance to it, which means that you might need a higher concentration to obtain the same desired effect. And it also means that you might need a higher concentration from someone, a chronic user, compared to a naive user for that drug to cause their death. So it can vary what is a lethal concentration for individual to individual.
For a person who has never taken fentanyl before, what is the literature say is a lethal dose?
So just in general, though, the lowest reported concentrations of fentanyl are 3 nanograms per milliliter, where it's been contributed to their death.
Okay, so in this case, we had 15.
Correct.
Which is 5 times that.
Correct.
Okay, now, even assuming this redistribution, postmortem redistribution, is that significantly still above this 3 nanograms per milliliter?
Yes, 15 is greater than 3.
Thank you. I am just a lawyer, so pardon my math. Okay, at a later time, were you asked to examine other of the samples that you were sent by the Utah medical examiner?
Yes, in October of 2022, the client requested that we perform an alcohol and drug screen on the gastric fluid.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Did following that screen, did you get positive results for which you subsequently performed confirmatory tests?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us about those?
Yes, so ethanol was detected at 279 milligrams per deciliter. Quetiapine was detected at 16,000 nanograms per milliliter. Fentanyl was detected at 20,000 nanograms per milliliter. Norfentanyl was detected at 52 nanograms per milliliter, and acetylfentanyl was detected at 29 nanograms per milliliter.
We haven't heard about acetylfentanyl. What is that?
Acetylfentanyl is a fentanyl analog, so it's similar in structure, but it's an illicit drug. So there's no prescription pharmaceutical drug where it's going to be prescribed. It's solely illicit, and it's often seen in illicitly manufactured fentanyl as a co-product.
So for purposes of an analyst or a criminal investigator, that would be a marker that this came from a source, this fentanyl came from a source that was illicit.
You could provide that interpretation, yes.
Okay.
I mean, they could have just had acetylfentanyl and maybe a fentanyl prescription, but often when you see acetylfentanyl, it's an indication that the fentanyl was illicit.
Okay. This 279 milligrams per deciliter of ethanol, I want to go into that. First of all, how much alcohol is that in layman's terms, like in order of, say, shots of liquor or 12-ounce beers or whatever?
So this will be kind of a multi-step answer. So the 279 milligrams per deciliter is a concentration. And so your question was asking just about milligrams. So like if you have a beer or a shot of alcohol, that's just in terms of milligrams of ethanol. So to figure that out, you would have to take the 279 times the total volume of gastric fluid that's available.
Were you made aware of the total volume?
Yes, I was.
From whom?
Dr. Ulmer.
Okay, and did she give you a figure?
700 milliliters.
Okay. And so from that, you were able to make a calculation.
Yeah, so you would multiply the 279 times the 700 milliliters and doing the conversions for deciliters to milliliters, but you end up with around 1900 milligrams of ethanol versus a standard drink of ethanol is 14,000 milligrams. So it's well below the amount that you would find just in one standard drink of ethanol.
Is there another possible source for this alcohol than alcoholic beverage?
Yes, so it's known that if you have a source of glucose and bacteria, that ethanol can be formed post-mortem. So the bacteria convert glucose, because it's carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, just like ethanol. It can convert glucose into ethanol. And so obviously, like in gastric contents, you might have a source of glucose if there's food there, and then your stomach naturally has bacteria. So this post-mortem formation can occur either in the body prior to sample collection, but it could also happen in the collection container because often they don't have a preservative that would inhibit the bacteria from doing this process of post-mortem formation of ethanol.
Is there any way you can chemically identify whether it's this post-mortem decomposition or vodka?
Not in the testing that we performed.
Can you tell us, based on your knowledge of the volume in the gastric fluid, anything about this quetiapine and how much of a pill, if you will, would be there, or a dosage?
Right. So again, you would take the concentration, the 16,000 nanograms per milliliter, multiply it times the total 700 milliliters, and you get a very large number, but drugs are given typically in milligram doses, and there's 1 million nanograms in 1 milligram, right? So after you do that math, it ends up being 11 milligrams of quetiapine. I just want to state, like, the assumption is that 700 milliliters of gastric was homogeneous, so that the concentration was consistent throughout the entire volume, and that the sample that was sent to us represents that 700 milliliters as a whole. Like, that assumption has to be made for the calculations that I'm providing.
And so is it that 16,000 come to equal a standard dosage, prescription dosage?
I would say it's less than a standard dosage. I mean, it depends on a person's prescription, but typically like 75, 100, 250 milligrams of quetiapine might be prescribed versus our calculation was 11 milligrams.
Okay. Did you, a few minutes ago, did you have an opportunity to look at States Exhibit 9-1, a quetiapine bottle with its label on it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You also have the results that you obtained through screening and your confirmation test. With the knowns that you have available to you, are you able to say that the quetiapine and fentanyl had to have been taken sequentially, either one before the other one, or at the same time, or anything like that?
I cannot make any of those conclusions.
Okay. I have nothing for this.
He's loose.
Okay. That was not much information.
Yeah,
Good morning.
I mean, does she not interpret what would happen to you? I mean, we kind of got where the lethal level is, but
Yeah.
do we know what the quintuplene does or whatever the hell they're trying to
Yeah.
say? You know,
I thought toxicologists did more than just, hey, this is the amount.
yeah, I thought they would talk about what it would do to the body, you know, at this
Yeah.
concentration. You know, we typically see this is the level that it is used at as an intoxicant.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't see any markers that this was a habitual user. I mean,
Yeah. Uh, or yeah, I don't know. I hope the defense will bring out.
yeah, I mean, because the state sounded pretty nervous.
Yeah, a lot of numbers without any actual content. I mean, they say in the opening statement, "Oh, this is this and this is that," and this is the actual person who should be able to say, "Yeah, this is the lethal dose if you have no exposure. This is if you have some exposure. Here is the lethal dose if you are pumping yourself full with it every day."
Yeah, you know, we found it in this fluid, which means it went through the digestion rather than cutaneous.
Yeah,
And we've already had the ME. So, and the ME said, I don't want to talk about anything
yeah,
toxicology. You've got toxicology coming in.
yeah,
And this woman's like, yeah, I looked at numbers.
yeah. So this is weird. I don't like weird.
Yeah, I just thought we would get more information from her. I mean, I thought the state would have drilled down on the fentanyl because
Yeah,
that's a marker that it was made illicitly, you know, and then she didn't really seem to be married to that. So I bet the defense is going to.
yeah,
Oh, and Sasha Monkey brings up she might not be qualified to make that determination just to be able to read off the values. Biochemistry is complicated. True.
yeah. But if
But
the
wouldn't you
ME
give the
refers
person.
to her as the person to actually say all these things, then why don't she? I mean, this is the toxicologist that the ME works with.
Yeah, MLS
You,
is like, "Give them 3 more weeks, guys. Give them time. We have no attention span."
no.
Dr. Peterson.
Morning.
I'm Wendy Lewis.
Oh,
I'm one
Bart
of Ms.
Simpson.
Richins' attorneys. Nice to meet you. So you've been working at NMS Labs, you said, for how long?
Since June of 2021.
All right. And prior to that, were you still doing the same type of work, forensic toxicology?
Yes, I was.
All right. So part of your job isn't working with live patients, true?
Correct.
All right. So you don't deal with when someone comes in who's maybe possibly overdosing from some kind of drug.
That's correct.
All right. So you look at what's happened only after death by looking at samples, correct?
I look at the data generated from those samples being tested.
That's fair. That's fair. How a scientist would describe it rather than an attorney. Okay. So I want to talk about fentanyl and follow up a little bit on what Mr. Burmester asked you regarding lethal doses of fentanyl. So here you said we had 15 nanograms per milliliter of fentanyl in the bloodstream. Did I get that right?
Correct.
All right. And fatalities for fentanyl, there's a fairly large range of what could be a fatal dose of fentanyl. Is that fair?
Correct.
All right. So a much lower dose could cause the death of someone. True?
Lower than 15? Yes.
Yes. And in some people who have some tolerance, it could be a higher dose than that before it would be fatal. Fair?
That's correct.
All right. So when someone takes fentanyl, is it fair to say that it would take about 30 minutes from the time the fentanyl's ingested before it starts to show up in the bloodstream?
Yeah, some of it's going to depend on if the stomach is empty and if it's in liquid form or solid, but I would say usually 15 to 60 minutes it might take for absorption for it to be at a measurable amount in the blood.
All right. And is there any way to tell? Let me rephrase that. There was also fentanyl found in Mr. Richins' stomach. We spoke about that.
Correct.
So we know that he for sure ingested fentanyl. It wasn't given to him or he didn't take it any other way. Like he didn't use it, he didn't inject it. True?
I mean, you could do both, but the presence of it in the gastric contents does provide the interpretation that one route of administration was ingestion.
All right, that makes sense. Now, you mentioned that also present was norfentanyl.
Correct.
And norfentanyl is a metabolite. Did I say that properly? Of fentanyl.
Yes, that's correct.
So when the body starts to metabolite the fentanyl, you'll see norfentanyl also in the system or in the samples.
Well, correct.
Okay, well, let me ask another question. Maybe we can clarify. It's possible that someone could die of a fentanyl overdose so quickly you wouldn't see norfentanyl in the system. True?
That's correct.
All right. So in someone who's never taken fentanyl, hypothetically, it's possible that first exposure, they take it, they die so quickly, norfentanyl is not observed.
Yes, that can happen.
All right. So when someone has a high dose of fentanyl and we see norfentanyl on the report, the body has started to metabolize the fentanyl.
Correct.
And wouldn't it be more, well, strike that. Let me ask one question before I get to that one. So that would mean that after the fentanyl was ingested, Mr. Richins was alive long enough that his liver began to metabolize the norfentanyl, or the fentanyl resulting in norfentanyl.
Correct.
All right. And that would be more likely for the body to start to metabolize it before death in someone who it was not their first time taking fentanyl, correct?
I don't think you can draw that conclusion.
And well, let me back up. So it's possible someone has no exposure to fentanyl, they take it, they die very, very quickly.
That's a possibility, yes.
And someone who has had exposure, I'm not saying that 100% wouldn't, they may show norfentanyl, but it's more likely that someone who's had some exposure to fentanyl would start, especially at a higher dose, would start to metabolize it, having the norfentanyl appear, as opposed to someone who had never taken it. True?
I don't agree with that.
All right.
Interesting the way the defense attorney's face reacted
You
to
talked
that.
about things that were not found in the blood, and was naltrexone tested for?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and there was no naltrexone in Mr. Richins' blood.
The screening result did not meet the threshold to go to that second confirmation test.
All right, I want to move to post-mortem production of alcohol that you talked about with Mr. Burmester. So post-mortem production of alcohol is more likely to occur in some scenarios than other scenarios. Fair?
Yes.
I mean, not every body is going to have post-mortem production of alcohol. We don't see that just because someone dies, that's not there.
That's correct.
All right. So some of the circumstances that might result in postmortem are things such as a long delay between the death and autopsy. True?
I mean, the two variables that are needed are glucose and the bacteria.
All right. But is it also true that there are certain scenarios where it's more likely to happen, such as a long delay between the autopsy and the death? You're more likely to see it than an autopsy that happened fairly quickly. Fair?
Are you talking about in any matrix or gastric in particular or just general?
Well,
Sorry.
no, now you're getting scientific on me.
I'll just answer your question that yes, a longer postmortem interval is a pre-analytical factor that could lead to postmortem formation of ethanol.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. And I'm not saying every time, but these are
Correct.
circumstances that make it more likely.
it can be, yes.
And we didn't have a long delay here between death and autopsy.
No idea.
Well, assuming he died somewhere between 10:30 p.m. and 3 a.m., autopsy's done at 7:30 a.m. That's not considered a long delay in terms of an autopsy, true?
That's just not something I do.
Okay,
So I don't have
so
an
that would be a
opinion.
question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Question for an ME.
Yes.
All right, fair. Does trauma to the body increase the chances of postmortem production of alcohol?
It can, because if you have trauma where the gastric tract gets broken open, then that bacteria is released and can be in the blood, and you need the bacteria to do the postmortem formation.
Right. And that didn't happen here.
No idea.
So a body being warm for a long period of time, that also increases the chances
It
of
could.
postmortem.
It could, yes.
And are you aware if when a body arrives at a ME's office, typically it's refrigerated? Fair?
Yes.
Was there testing done for yeast in his system that could produce alcohol?
No, there was not.
Because yeast in the system is something that would result in postmortem. Well, I might be phrasing that wrong, but yeast in the system could result in the production of alcohol that would be seen, such as it was here.
Yes.
All right, but that wasn't tested for.
No.
All right. So it's possible that there was postmortem decomposition, but it's equally possible that he took a drink before bed, correct?
Correct.
How long after taking a drink of alcohol? Well, is it fair to say alcohol takes about 10 to 15 minutes to hit the bloodstream?
Again, it depends on the stomach and if it's full or not. So if you have an empty stomach, then the alcohol can get to the intestines faster, which is where the majority of the absorption occurs. So yeah, maybe 15, 30 minutes if your stomach is empty. But if you have delayed gastric emptying, then it might take longer for you to reach that peak alcohol concentration.
Right, peak alcohol concentration.
Yeah,
that's
for some alcohol to be in the blood, sure, 15, 30 minutes.
within 30 minutes.
Yes.
And some fentanyl would be in the blood probably within 30 minutes of ingestion.
Again, yeah, within 15 to 60 minutes in general, yes.
So if Mr. Richins had fentanyl in the blood, but not alcohol, a real possibility is that he ingested the fentanyl and then took a drink, give or take maybe 30 minutes later, maybe less, 15 to 30 minutes after he took the fentanyl. Fair assumption, correct?
I can't provide a timeline of when things were ingested. Some of it is, you say take a drink, did you take a sip? That might not even become measurable in the blood. Or how long did he live after the alcohol was consumed, and the body could have just metabolized it below our threshold for reporting. So I can speak generally about both. Yes, can be absorbed and be present in the blood within the 15, 30 minutes.
Well, that amount of fentanyl, typically someone would pass away, would die from that dosage of fentanyl within 20 minutes.
I can't provide an exact time frame. Sometimes there's delayed deaths with respiratory depression, so I can't pinpoint.
Okay, you can't I understand. I mean, we're talking in generalities here. So if someone takes that dosage of fentanyl that you found, what would you expect? Would someone live for hours after that? They wouldn't.
Again, I don't even know what dosage was taken, and I don't know this individual's history of use with this drug. So I can just say what was detected in the blood, what was detected in the gastric, and I can provide general information about absorption of alcohol and drugs and timeframes.
All right, so he might have lived longer had this was not the first time he took fentanyl. He may have lived longer after he took the fentanyl.
Again, I don't know what dose was taken.
All right, I'm basing it on what was in the blood. You know how much was in the blood, which can give you an idea approximately of a dose that was taken. Fair?
I mean, assuming I'm not sure what you mean by dose, like how many micrograms of fentanyl were taken.
All right. You've testified that 15 nanograms per milliliter is 5 times more than a lethal dose of fentanyl.
Correct.
All right. So, and I understand, we don't know if that meant he ingested 1 pill of fentanyl or 5 pills of fentanyl. We don't know that. True?
Correct.
All right. However, he clearly took more than, and you're going to have to help me with the numbers, because I don't know how it converts from milligrams taken to what's in the blood. But you said a lethal dose could be as low as 3 nanograms per milliliter.
A lethal concentration.
So in your experience as a toxicologist, wouldn't that give you some idea of the amount of fentanyl that was ingested to result in that in the blood? Maybe not exactly, but you would have an idea.
Well, again, previously I testified about postmortem redistribution, so I'm not aware if that happened or not and could have elevated that concentration of fentanyl. So there's limitations to being able to say what dose ended up with this concentration.
All right, let's try and put this in terms for a layperson. You're handed a fentanyl pill. It's got 1 milligram of fentanyl in it. Is that a lethal dose of fentanyl? Could it be? I know you don't know, because it would depend on the individual.
Yes.
All right. And if someone took 1 milligram of fentanyl, and give me a range of what you would expect to see in the blood. Would that be more or less than what you saw here? A range. I know you can't tell me exactly.
It's so individualistic.
So let's say you're given a 800 microgram dose of fentanyl, because fentanyl is very potent.
1 milligram
so
would be a lot of fentanyl,
yeah, we don't
right?
give milligrams, we
Okay.
give micrograms, so 1,000-fold less.
Thank you.
But therapeutically, you're trying to get into that 2 to 5 nanogram range because it's a very small window of when it's therapeutic and when it's fatal. So,
All right. I think that helps me with my question. So someone's given a therapeutic dose of fentanyl in the hospital, which apparently is nanograms because milligrams is a lot when it comes to fentanyl.
micrograms, yes.
Micrograms, thank you. Yeah, I don't know if I ever took a science class in college. So, what would you expect to see range-wise in the blood had someone had a therapeutic dose of fentanyl in the hospital? Let's say they died not for some reason or another after they had that therapeutic dose of fentanyl. What range would you expect to see in the blood?
All right, so clinically, when they dose people, then like 2 to 3 nanograms per milliliter.
All right. So he clearly took more, obviously, than a therapeutic dose.
Yes.
Well, it would be pretty unusual to see 15 nanograms per milliliter if normally you think you'd see 2 or 3. Or I think you said lower than that. I'm sorry.
But again, I don't know if postmortem redistribution occurred. I don't know this individual's history of use with this drug. And so if they had tolerance, they could take a higher dose and be able to be alive with a higher concentration.
All right. And we don't know that. Okay, let me just boil it down. Is it possible, based on the findings here, that Mr. Richins ingested fentanyl and then after he ingested the fentanyl, he had a drink of alcohol? We don't know how much, but he had a drink. That's a possibility. True?
True.
All right. I want to talk about the quetiapine for a minute. Now, quetiapine is not naturally produced in the body after someone dies, right?
Correct.
So he had to have ingested quetiapine.
Correct.
And it appears that it was not a very high dose. You said it was probably a fairly low dose of quetiapine.
In the gastric, yes.
In the gastric. And again, the quetiapine had not made it to the blood. He died before there was a chance for the quetiapine to make its way into his blood. Correct?
There was no quetiapine above our threshold for performing a confirmation test.
Well, you couldn't measure any quetiapine in the blood. True?
No.
You did measure some in the blood.
Yes.
And where's that in your report?
It wasn't above our threshold for reporting or performing a confirmation test.
So in your report, there's no indication that quetiapine was found in the blood.
Correct.
All right. And your report's accurate.
Correct.
All right. So again, quetiapine.
This witness really don't want to say. Now, technically, she is correct. It will, if it's not in the report, then it could be 0 to not reaching the threshold. Yeah, but then that should be, if it on a direct question. I mean, so she's technically true, but it just seems that she's trying to avoid answering yes or no.
Yeah, and the assumption that he was able, by all accounts thus far, he seemed to be a healthy person. So it could be that his body was healthy and it did try to counteract the fentanyl. The assumption that the defense is putting out there that he had a history with it, I think is a bit misleading. But I see where they're going with it.
Yeah.
But she also, you would think if this is going to be a cornerstone, a keystone of your defense, that he was an F user, that he had developed a tolerance, you would have an attorney like Alessi that had spent time researching, that had a pharmacology background or something like that, that you would utilize, or they would have been studying their behind off, because she doesn't even seem to know what she's talking about.
Yeah. Now, they did have their expert or possible expert listening in on the MEs, but she always referred to this witness, and this witness doesn't provide much information either. And I mean, I've been covering trials where toxicologists are, and they are more than happy to just, here is everything, and here is what I believe it means. This shows restraint.
Yeah, and she seems a little quirky. It wouldn't be so noticeable if we hadn't had the first, the big, investigator or evidence person have a lot of these. I don't know. I don't remember. This is becoming a pattern, and it's not a good look for the state.
Quetiapine takes about the same amount of time to hit the blood as fentanyl, more or less, about 30 minutes.
Correct.
So a very possible scenario, likely scenario, is that he ingested the fentanyl before the quetiapine. Fair?
No.
Well, if you took them together, they would have both been in the blood, right?
That's not true. I mean, if you didn't take a dose that would lead to a concentration that's reportable in the blood, doesn't mean you didn't take it. It just means that it wasn't at a concentration high enough to be above our threshold for reporting.
I understand that, but maybe my question wasn't clear. Whatever amount of quetiapine he took, there was not a measurable, reportable amount in his blood.
That is correct.
The fentanyl he took, there was.
That is correct.
The fentanyl had made its way to his blood prior to him passing.
That is correct.
The quetiapine had not.
Not above a concentration that would be reported by us.
Not even in a concentration that you noted in any way.
Correct.
So it is possible that he took the fentanyl and then later took quetiapine. That's a possibility.
Sure.
All right. So one possibility here is that Mr. Richins ingested fentanyl, and then within the next 15, 20, 30 minutes, he had a drink and took a quetiapine. That's a possibility, correct?
Sure.
All right. Just give me a moment, please.
I don't know what she thought she got out of that. I
No.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr.
No.
Burmester, within the scope of cross, please.
Oh, today the judge is telling the state within the scope of cross. I don't remember him saying that yesterday.
yeah, or to the defense.
Yeah. Now he's very, very careful saying it. So maybe he gave them leeway until they really went a bit out of bounds with the ME. And
Yeah.
now he's, hey, wheel it back in.
Taking up where we last were, aren't there other equally possible hypotheticals, such as
That is a horrible way to start a question. Equally possible means that all possibilities are equally or equal. That is the base definition of reasonable doubt.
Yeah, not to mention we can go hypotheticals all we
Yeah.
want.
But he, as the state, he should never say,
Yeah.
"Oh, is it equally possible that this happened?"
No,
You
if
should
I'm
never
the
say
state,
that.
I'm attacking first and foremost with the cross. I need to attack Eric's, the illusion that Eric was a habitual user. So and I noticed that this witness was not willing to validate that. So I need to hammer home that. I need to hammer home that, you don't have to be a habitual user for your body to be healthy enough to create a metabolite. Is it beyond the realm of possibility with this much fentanyl that the body of an initial user could have started metabolizing? I mean, you should know these answers. You should have asked these answers or these questions, but yeah, or at least, explain that these results could be found in a habitual user and a first-time user. So there's no clear and fast science or any studies done yet to kind of show tolerance-ness.
a drink of alcohol with quetiapine and fentanyl taken at the same time?
Sure.
Is the problem that there aren't enough, there are too many variables that are left unknown that we can't fix any of those? We can't fix the hypothetical and say one is more likely than another because there are too many variables?
Yes.
One of those is that you can't tell this jury whether the alcohol in the gastric fluid came from an alcoholic beverage or decomposition.
Correct.
So if both are equal possibilities,
When you look at
where are we
15
going with this?
nanograms of fentanyl and the 3.3 of norfentanyl, can you give any insight as, is there a relationship, those numbers?
Folks, just for clarification here, I know a bunch of things about this case, and I would be astonished if Kouri Richins walks. Astonished. But that doesn't mean I will lighten up on what I demand of a proper prosecution.
Yeah, the state has to prove it.
Yeah, state has to prove it. And imagine the absolute clusterfuck this trial would be if the state, despite all these evidence I know exists, still fails.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to anticipate that, especially after the defense's opening, that the painting Eric as a habitual user of illicit materials is going to be something that's going to be attempted. So I would have talked to each of my experts.
Internet does not like Mo's voice. There, it's clear, because every time she starts talking, she freezes. Yeah. Here's my general opinion regarding Kouri Richins. You should have shut the fuck up about any kind of possible way that this might have happened. Just shut up. Shut up. Especially the walk the dog letter. Kept quiet and let the lawyers handle the case. Because her statements about him being a habitual user of fentanyl just because it ended up in his bloodstream, her best defense, if we knew nothing, would be, yes, from my maid, I tried to get oxys because we didn't want to go to the doctors too often because they started to ask questions and everything, yada, yada, yada. And drug dealers, they don't care if you want oxys or fentanyl or anything. They will sell you rat piss in a bottle if they can fool you into believing it's oxys. She would be better off saying, yeah, we bought those because reasons, and then blame it on the fucking drug dealer. Yeah, the state had, despite going in and out of the house, they didn't have much, as you just said, they didn't have much until she started writing.
Yeah. So note to self, don't write.
She should have blamed the drug dealer and the maid. We had no idea.
Yeah. Also, didn't she write a check
oxys.
for some of the not legal pharmaceuticals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems like they haven't barely tested the pills at all.
Yeah, but Jussie Smollett, could you not write a check if you're going to do felony stuff?
Yeah.
Money order, cash.
Yeah, Sebastian says it. So the state built a case with the help of the family's PI, and that Kouri Richins could not shut up. Because without her interesting story and book and everything, All they had was the family believing she did it. That's it.
Have some sort of relationship that we can tell anything from that? For example, how long ago it was taken, that sort of thing?
So assumptions still have to be made. So you would have, one assumption is this person has never used fentanyl before. Then that means that they lived long enough.
And Mo's gone again. Why did you make that assumption? What did you actually check to make that assumption?
For the body to form norfentanyl. But for me, I have no idea their history of use. So there could be norfentanyl still present from a prior use, and then the new fentanyl was taken, and maybe they died before it started to metabolize, but that norfentanyl is still present from a prior use. But once fentanyl is absorbed into the blood, as soon as that happens, it's circulating, can get to the liver, and that norfentanyl can start to appear right away. So within a few minutes, you're going to start having norfentanyl formed and present in the blood once the fentanyl is absorbed into the blood.
Whether you're a previous user or a new user?
Correct.
We have the marker, possible marker of the acetyl fentanyl. And if we make an assumption that that came from the same source as the fentanyl.
No, I think that's beyond the scope. I didn't ask for anything about this fentanyl.
Well, let's see what the rest of the question is, and then you can renew your objection. Go ahead, Mr. Burmester.
We can make the assumption that it was an illicit source as opposed to illicit source.
Same objection.
Sustained. Just keep going.
Okay, it's fine. I'll just, that's all the questions.
Anything further, Ms. Lewis?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're welcome to step down. Thank you.
As Gigi says, been told that a hair follicle test could show what's been taken drug-wise in the past 30 days. Did they do that test? Not that I've heard.
Give me a sense. Is this a 15-minute witness or a longer?
Shorter.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, that was that with this witness, apparently.
I need you next to a mic, Mr. Rivers. My apologies.
He wants to know if the witness can be released from her subpoena.
Ms. Lewis, any objection to releasing Dr. Peterson?
No, Your Honor.
Doctor, you are released. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Next witness. Yeah, that didn't help me much. I was expecting a lot from this toxicologist.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury? Thank you. Have a seat.
At least he's not in tactical gear.
Good morning, sir. If you could state your name and spell your last name, please.
Frank Root, R-O-O-T.
Where do you work?
Summit County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you worked there?
6 years.
And what's your assignment with the Sheriff's Office?
Investigations detective.
And as part of your role in this case, did you meet with Robert Josh Grossman?
Yes.
And during one of those times that you've met with him, did you collect a cell phone from him?
Yes.
Was that an iPhone 7?
Yes, I believe so.
When did you collect that phone from him?
May 26, 2023.
Once you collected that phone.
They didn't collect her lover's phone until over a fucking year later? Jesus. And Mr. what was his name? Fat Bottom? I don't care. Didn't cross his mind if he was involved in any way, shape, or form to, hey, maybe I should delete shit and get a new phone.
Was it booked into evidence?
Yes.
Was it later transferred to be downloaded, the contents?
Yes.
Those are all my questions for you. Thank you.
Is there any questions? Oh, Mr. Ramos, my apologies.
It's me. Can we approach for just a minute?
Sure.
And here we go again. Sidebar counter 25. 25 sidebars. And we're not even at lunch on day 4. That is a hell of a lot of sidebars. But we are a bit behind, so I can just skip through this.
From Mr. Gross.
Oh.
I want to just make sure I understand. The phone you recovered.
Wait, that was all he was there to testify to? The phone?
Any questions for Detective Root at this time?
Very briefly.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Detective Root. How are you?
Good morning, counsel. Good, thank you.
I want to just make sure I understand. The phone you recovered from Mr. Grossman, was it one phone?
No, there were 2 phones.
Okay. And what color were the phones?
One was black, one was white.
Did you recover both of them at the same time, or did you do 2 trips to get phones from him
No, I recovered 2 phones at that time.
together?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that the first time you'd ever met Mr. Grossman?
No, it was not.
Right. So you knew it to be Mr. Grossman because you had met him before.
Yes, ma'am.
And the way you had met him before is interviewing him?
Correct.
I can't go into the interview? Okay.
Not right now.
We're going to talk about that at another time.
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, were you ever asked to return the phones to Mr. Grossman?
I was.
And then were you ever asked to go back and get them again?
I was.
So how many times total did you pick up phones, deliver them for review, take them back, pick them up, take them back? How many times did you do that?
I transported phones multiple times.
More than 2?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you give Mr. Grossman a reason why you had to keep coming back and getting his phones over and over and over again?
Yeah, I think we're beyond the scope at this point.
No, why don't you just ask him if he had a reason?
Did you have a reason for why you kept going back to get his phones, take them, bring them back, take them, bring them back?
I was instructed to retrieve them by my chain of command.
So you don't know the reason?
No, ma'am.
Right. And in those periods of time, in between when you'd pick up the phone, take it to the station, bring it back, pick it up, bring it back, in those in between times, you don't know what he did with that phone, do you?
Can you be specific about the he?
Mr. Grossman, sorry. I'll try not to use a pronoun.
In one specific instance, Mr. Grossman had the phones. During that time, no, I do not know what he did with them.
Okay. Did he ever show you things on his phone when you were with him before you took them into your custody?
On those phones, no, they were not operable.
They were not operable.
Correct.
So you took inoperable phones from him.
Correct.
Did you ever take operable phones from him?
When I was instructed to get them back from Mr. Grossman, they were operable at that time.
And when you went to go visit him and look at his phone, did he show you anything on the phone?
On those phones, I don't recall.
Did he show you anything on any phone?
He has shown things on his current cell phone to me, but the phones in question, I don't recall them.
Did you compare his current phone to the, excuse me, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
My apologies. I interrupted you. Let me hear the question first, and then Ms. Shervinack may have an objection.
Did you compare the current phone that he had to what was on that phone to the inoperable phones that ultimately became operable?
Pause for 1 second.
Your Honor, I do think we're beyond the scope now.
I agree. Sustained. Anything else about the 2 phones that Detective Root collected?
Did Mr. Grossman give you any reason why he believed the phones were inoperable?
Yes,
What was the reason he gave you?
he had broken them on accident.
Both of them?
Your Honor, we'll reserve the rest of our questioning for a later.
He accidentally drove to army base and accidentally broke them in half and set fire to them.
Is he a relative of Hillary Clinton? I mean, did he use bleach bit? How do you break 2 phones?
Accidentally.
Accidentally. I mean, this sounds like something my feral would say, like I accidentally, punched my brother.
Yeah. Someone it says Somebody took a shit in my pants.
Yeah, I mean, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Time, and we would ask that this witness not be released from his trial subpoena.
Understood. Detective, you're free to step down today. You may be called back in the future. We'll give you some notice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Very good, sir. Yeah, watch out. Appropriate time to take a break, Ms. Shervinick?
Sure.
Okay, let's take a restroom break, folks. Thank you. Please rise for the jury.
Yay, look at that.
Woohoo.
Yeah, I'm still hung up on the toxicology expert, which I did not really get much information from. I was expecting so much more since the ME constantly referred to the toxicologist to answer those type of questions.
Who's on deck?
I mean, unless there's a more expert.
Okay, if you would let them know to be ready to go at 10.
I mean, unless there's a more expert that's going to tie it all together.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm more confused.
I'm perplexed on where the state's going, and I shouldn't be this perplexed.
No, there should be a clear storyline on what's going on.
Yeah, I shouldn't still be wondering how this investigation got started. I mean, was it with the positive fentanyl test when, Kouri didn't say anything about fentanyl? Was that when?
And that stupid question on redirect, isn't it equally possible that? No, you're supposed to say this is the beyond reasonable doubt what happened.
Well, yeah.
All right, let's see. Now we're only 14 minutes behind. Yay! Because they're taking breaks and the sidebars.
Okay, here comes Ms. Lewis. Are we ready for the jury, Ms. Nestor?
Yes.
Ms. Shervinack, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we invite them, please.
Okay, Yuri, come.
Before he takes the stand, I do need to move to admit the state's exhibit 9-6 that Detective Root testified to. Is it just
9-6 was 2 phones. Are we admitting both or just the iPhone 7 that he testified to?
The iPhone 7 is the one you used.
And forgive me, I didn't catch the color.
The color?
Yeah, it's either white or black. Do we know?
It's the only iPhone 7.
Understood. Okay. Any objection, Ms. Nestor?
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the exhibit number, please?
It's
9-6. 9-6. No objection. Your Honor.
Okay, so the iPhone 7 that is part of 9-6 is admitted.
Thank you. We're ready for evidence.
Sir, if you would please step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
And here's...
Can you please read your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury? Thank you. Please have a seat.
Okay, who are you?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
If you could state your name and spell your last name, please.
My name is Cheney Engta. Last name is spelled Echo November Golf hyphen Tango Oscar Whiskey.
Where do you work?
What?
I work for the
No!
Utah Department.
Just say the fucking letters.
Yeah, no, we're dyslexic and he's multilingual. This isn't going to work.
Okay, normal speed.
Your
Let's.
last name, please.
My name is Cheney Engta. Last name is spelled Echo November Golf.
ENG.
Hyphen.
Hyphen Tango Oscar Whiskey.
Where do you?
Oh, and thanks,
TOW. What was his first name?
Cheney. So, CHE.
NEY. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. Those two names I would not put together if I were to guess either.
Work.
I work for the State of Utah Department of Public Safety Bureau of Forensic Services. but I'm assigned to the Intermountain West Regional Computer Forensic Laboratory.
How do we refer to that place in shorthand?
IWRCFL.
IWRCFL.
IWR, yep.
And what do you do? Is it okay if I refer to it as the RCFL?
Absolutely.
Thank you. What do you do with the
Forensics.
RCFL?
I'm a digital evidence laboratory technician there, and my primary role is to access data from Apple mobile devices.
Are you trained to perform cell phone downloads?
Yes.
What kind of programs do you use to do that work?
For Apple devices, we typically use a device known as Gray Key.
Are you certified to, well, I guess, do you need to be certified to use that program?
No.
Are you also familiar with Celebrate?
What?
Well, wait, isn't Gray Key the one that
Are you
breaks
certified
it?
to, well, I guess, do you need to be
into
certified
it?
to use that program?
No.
Okay. Do you need to be certified? He answered no. I said, are you certified to use that? No. What?
Well, I think Gray Key is the one, if I'm understanding it right, Gray Key is the one that figures out like the 4-digit or 6-digit passcode if they aren't given the passcode. And then once it goes through and magics that out, then they put it into Cellbrite.
Oh.
I could be very wrong. I don't know why we're listening to me for tech advice.
Are you also familiar with Celebrate?
Yes.
Are you certified to use that program?
Yes, certain aspects of it, yes.
And what are your certifications in Celebrate?
Cellbrite certified operator and Cellbrite certified physical analyst.
What is Celebrate?
Cellbrite's just a software that can be used to download phones, and it can also be used to parse out extractions which are obtained from phones. So it puts the data in a readable format for people.
Did you receive a request from the Summit County Sheriff's Office to do extractions or downloads from cell phones?
Yes, they submitted 2 phones to the IWRCFL.
And were you able to complete downloads of those 2 phones?
Yes.
I want to talk first about the white iPhone 12 with the phone number ending 1987. Were you able to perform a download of this phone?
Yes.
And did you get a full file system acquisition from that phone?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's just the type of there are different levels of information you can get from a cell phone when you extract them. In this case, we were given the passcode to the phone by Summit County when they submitted it. If you know the passcode or are able to break the passcode of a phone, you will get what's known as a full file system, which is essentially all the data from the cell phone.
And so you were able to obtain the raw data from that phone?
Yes.
And it was put into a readable format?
Yes.
And was that information from that phone ending in 1987 given back to the Summit County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you the same questions for the second phone. You said there were 2 phones. Did you able to complete a download from green iPhone 11, phone number ending 9317?
Yes, I believe it was a 11 Pro Max. Though.
11 Pro Max. And same question, you're able to perform a download for that phone?
Yes, we were given the passcode to that phone as well.
And did you similarly get a full file system acquisition?
Yes.
And was that raw data then put into a readable format?
Yes.
And was that information given back to the Summit County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
Great. Those are all my questions for you. Thank you.
Mr. Robinson.
Very briefly. Good morning.
Morning.
Could we geek out for just a little bit?
Sure.
All right.
No,
could you just walk
God,
us through,
no.
walk the jury through the process of how you use Gray Key, what that gives you, in what format, what you then do with Celebrite, what you then get from Celebrite, what the format is, and then ultimately how it gets back to the Summit County Sheriff's Office. So basically everything you've just talked to, but break it down if that's okay.
Sure.
Perfect. Go ahead.
So essentially, we take the phone. Now in this case, as I mentioned, we knew the passcode. So we would verify the passcode worked. I would unlock the phone, and then you connect it to Gray Key, which looks like a little computer, look kind of like an Apple Mac Mini is what it kind of looks like. Through a combination of the hardware proprietary, which is what Gray Key is, hardware and software, it then accesses the data on the phone and it gets an extraction, which in this case, as we mentioned, was a full file system extraction. That data is saved by Gray Key in the form of a zip file. Now, that zip file is not readable. You couldn't just connect it to any other computer and just open it up and look at it. So that data has to be parsed out, essentially.
Sorry to interrupt. Could you explain how the data would look if we were to open it up before putting it into the Celebrite system?
You couldn't really even open it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would not be accessible. You need forensic software to access it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So then we use a program which was previously mentioned called Celebrite. Now in this case, we're using Celebrite Physical Analyzer, which is just a Celebrite software that takes this extraction. So you load the extraction in, and then it parses that data that from the extraction into the various types of data that everybody would see on your cell phone today. So you would see it parses it out to the SMS, text messages, MMS, messages, emails, Word documents, pictures, videos. All the data is just put into a format that when you go into Physical Analyzer, you could say, I want to see all the texts that came from this particular phone number, and then you could read the texts that were sent. Once that information is parsed out, you then create a report. So it generates a report of all that data, and it creates something we call using a UFED reader, which is just part of Celebrite. It's like a standalone reader that allows us to give all the data from this report, along with the reader, back to the agency that submitted to us. And they take it. It typically is put onto like a Blu-ray disc. It depends how big the phone is. It may be saved to a Blu-ray disc. It may be saved to a thumb drive or hard drive. But in any case, that detective would then take what we've given them. They would load it into their computer, open up this reader program. The reader then is populated by the data from the extraction, and then they can go through and look for text or pictures or videos or whatever information that they're looking for.
And that's when the analysis will come in. Is that
Yes.
correct? Or the review of that information?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You did mention that you had two, what do you call certifications for Celebrite? I believe.
Yes.
Could you explain what those are and if they have any acronyms?
One is the Celebrite Certified Operator, CCO. It's a certification that gives you familiarity and experience with using Celebrite as a whole. And then CCPA, which is the Celebrite Certified Physical Analyst, is using that Physical Analyzer program, which is what we use to parse that data out from those zip extractions.
And do you have any other certifications in Celebrite?
I have a certification in Celebrite Premium.
And what is that?
Celebrite Premium is kind of a competitor to GrayKey. It's used to access cell phones, mainly locked cell phones.
Perfect. With the CCO and the CCPA, those certifications, do you need to renew them at any point, or are they kind of lifelong?
Yeah, I mean, you do it once and
you're solid.
Yeah.
I imagine, because of the constant updates and technology in our phone, I imagine that Celebrite also updates. Is that fair?
Yes.
In terms of what they can extract?
Yeah, both Celebrite and GrayKey
Perfect.
are updated constantly.
So I imagine because of that, you take additional classes or trainings. Would that be fair?
When and if I can, yes.
Correct, yeah. I imagine you're quite busy.
Yes.
The last question I had is, you had mentioned, I put it in quotes, certain aspects that while using Celebrite, that you were certified to use certain aspects. Are there certain things that your two certifications maybe wouldn't cover, or that if anybody was in that analysis process would need something else?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Those are all the questions I have. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Just one question, Judge. So you went through the process of how the raw data comes from the phone and then it's placed into a readable format. When that's taking place, is it correct that the data can't be manipulated in any way?
Yes. So when we get an extraction from GrayKey, GrayKey creates what is known as a hash value. You can think of a hash value as kind of like a digital fingerprint. So every file is unique. For instance, if I went into a Word and I created a file with I typed hello, and then I saved that file, and then I ran a hash, I got a hash value from it, which is just a hash is just a mathematical algorithm that looks at the file, and then it gives you a unique like fingerprint, which is basically a big long hexadecimal set of alphanumeric characters, but they're unique to that file. So in my example with this Word document, it would give me a value. Now, if I opened that document again and I put a period after the O and then saved it, and then I would hash that file again, that hash value would be completely different. So the way we use that is, now that I have the hash value for the extractions that I got from these two cell phones, I copied those to staging media, which is essentially a forensically wiped hard drive. once I copy it to that hard drive, I then hashed the extractions on that hard drive. Those values that I got should and did match the values that Grey Key gave me. So now I know my files on that hard drive are identical to what Grey Key pulled off. Mathematically, it's impossible for them to be different. That hard drive was then provided to an examiner at our laboratory who then processed the data. When he was done processing that data, he would then hash the extractions again at the end. If those extractions show the exact same hash value, we can then say we did not change those extraction, which is the data from the phone, at all. And we could say it's identical to what Grey Key got.
And that's what happened in this case.
Yes, and all in this case, the hash values all matched as they should.
Thank you.
Mr. Ramos.
So that's
Why
kind of like a
couldn't they do that on the
double-blind
first
kind of
one?
validation process? Correct?
If you want to refer to it that way,
Yeah,
sure.
just to make sure that everything's the same.
Yeah.
Now, because of that, because it can't be manipulated, or we verify that it can't be manipulated, there's no reason to do another extraction, correct?
Correct.
No further questions. Thank you.
Mr. Mack, anything else for this witness?
No, Judge.
You can step down, sir. May we release this gentleman?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
You're free to go. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Brian Holden is the next witness, Judge.
Okay, that was that witness. Who's next?
Brian Holden, I think. I like that the bailiff gets them a new glass of water.
Step in front of Brittany. We'll get this sworn.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury? Thank you. Have a seat.
Thank you, Evan. Can you please state your full name and spell your last name for the record?
Brian Holden, Holden.
Sir, are you employed?
Yes, I am.
By whom?
I'm employed by the Utah Bureau of Forensic Services, also known as the Utah State Crime Lab.
How long have you been with this state crime lab?
I've been with the State Crime Lab for over 20 years.
And what is your current capacity?
Currently, I'm a senior forensic scientist. I analyze unknown substances, determine their identification, and determine if that substance is controlled.
And were you serving in that same capacity in March of 2022?
Yes.
Mr. Holden, how's your neck? I mean, question? Yeah. Question?
Yeah, I just...
It's so annoying.
Also, what in the weaponized tism is going on with the shirt and the tie? Dave, what in the pattern non-recognition is this?
Yeah,
I feel like
he is recently divorced and don't know how to match tie with shirt. I would assume.
I just feel like he's like, oh, they're both squares.
Yeah.
It matches. He does look like he has a little more Neanderthal like lineage than the rest, with just the very prominent. I'm just saying, there are some people who have a very prominent forehead and may or may not look like they could go into a Geico commercial. So easy a caveman can do it. I bet he does have cool socks. I bet they have Sasquatch or the Death Star on them today.
I was.
Lab techs do it in white clothes.
Through 23, 24 in that same capacity?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So in this particular case, were you given a number of items to test?
I was, yes.
What were you asked to test?
I was asked to analyze. Can you clarify? Are you asking what I was asked to look for, or what
were you
items?
Given no. you were given a large number of items to test.
Okay.
Were you given specific instructions to look for certain properties or certain substances?
Okay, thank you. Yes, I was asked to look for a compound or a controlled substance named fentanyl in all of the items that were submitted to the lab.
Okay. Now I'm very interested.
Yes.
Well, okay.
And of all those things, let me just back up. When you receive something, is there a two-process testing that you do?
Yes, to be able to identify a controlled substance based off of our operating procedures, we do a presumptive test followed by a confirmation test.
And the initial presumptive or screening then tells you, oh, I can move on to this next step?
Correct.
I see. Okay. So of all the items you were given, did you run this screening?
I did, yes.
And after doing that, did you find, what were you looking for, I guess, is what I should be asking.
Like I previously stated, they asked me to look for fentanyl.
Nothing else?
No.
Okay. So were you able to confirm any fentanyl on anything that you tested?
No, I was not.
May I have one
Yeah, but what were the fucking items?
Yeah, what the hell were you testing?
Yeah, on the items you were given, you found no fentanyl. I don't give a fuck. What was the... did you find anything on the tweezer? No. Did you find anything on the leather jacket? No. Did you find anything on the unused syringes? No. I mean, I don't give a fuck about the result unless you tell us what you actually tested.
Is this their first day? Is this their first case? I feel like we're getting the JV team here.
Why would you not tell what? Or why is it a trade secret what items were tested?
I am so...
I hope they're going into it now. If that is all you have, I'm wishing it was Friday. Okay, now what? Sound disappeared.
What items?
Ah!
Let's go through this.
Thank you.
Chelsea. Okay.
What?
That's all the questions I have.
Oh, you motherfucker. No, testimony stricken. Objection, strike this. Yes, I do all the testing. Yes, I've been doing it for 20 years. Did you test a lot of things? Yeah. Did you find fentanyl on them? No. That's all we have. Objection. Added nothing. Move to strike.
What things? Oh my good lord.
Here's something fun. They haven't admitted anything into evidence, and he's the one who tested it. Don't ask any questions, because then no foundation is laid for the test results.
Was Trooper Paul, with math and stuff, doing the lead investigation on this? What? I am both flabber and gasted. Thus far in this trial, we have had objections to taxidermy, objections to memes. We have had MEs who don't know, but you can ask the toxicologist, a toxicologist that doesn't know, but you can ask the ME, and now a guy who tested some things. I appreciate this trial so very much.
Who's next?
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Kathy Nestor. I'm one of the attorneys representing Kouri Richins.
Okay.
I do have just a few questions for you.
Sure.
If we could pull up for the witness only, States Exhibit 1-19. All right. Sir, can you see that document in front of you?
Yes, I can.
And can you tell me what that document is?
It is a report that was issued for this case, I believe.
Was it the report you issued to report the results of your testing of these items?
I would need to see the second page or
Can you
the
go to
third
the second
page.
I think your name
Yeah.
might be on the
There
last
should be,
page.
yeah, on the last page.
There it is.
Yes, it is.
That's your signature?
Correct.
Okay, great. Can we go back to the first page, please, Katie? Just to refresh your memory, sir, do you remember who was the investigating officer responsible for getting these items to you by looking at your...
The investigating officer is Jamie Woody, I believe that's how you pronounce
And then
it.
who was the individual who delivered these documents, if that refreshes your memory at all?
Yeah, that'd be Chelsea Gibson.
Okay. Now, on the documents that you tested, I believe you said you were only asked to test for fentanyl. Is that correct?
Correct.
Documents, I don't think there's any mention of testing documents. So
May we agree to items?
Did I say documents?
You did.
I meant items.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you. And were you ever asked?
Anyone gonna fill us in on what these items are?
Apparently not. No. She said documents and the state. Oh, objection! Who the fuck tests the documents for fentanyl?
I don't know. What is going on?
What is going on? They objected because, oh no, we didn't mention any items, so don't ask questions about what items he tested. Just we only want, did you test stuff? Yes. Did you find fentanyl on the stuff you tested? No. No further questions.
I mean,
how
are
is it
they-
a fucking secret what items he tested?
Yeah, I guess is this to keep the defense from asking their questions, so they're keeping
Yeah.
this very narrow? I
Yeah.
am so Yeah, but if you narrow down things so specifically that the jury doesn't get a coherent idea of what you're trying to tell them,
Yeah.
that's not helpful.
No. What the fuck is going on here?
Asked to run any tests on any of the pills or other items that were seized from the home to see if any of them contained oxycodone.
No, I was not asked to do that.
And you've never been asked to do that in the last 4 years.
No, I was not.
And have you ever been asked to test any of the items that were pulled from the home for hydrocodone?
No, I was not.
And I didn't hear you say, do you have a chemistry background?
No, I have a degree in forensic science, which is heavy in chemistry and biology.
So do you know the difference between oxycodone and hydrocodone?
If I looked at the structure of them, yeah, they have a different molecular structure.
But are they both considered pain pills?
Correct. They're both opiates. They're both controlled, Schedule II controlled substances.
And you were also not asked to search any items for OxyContin.
No, OxyContin would be like the brand name, which would contain oxycodone. So no.
Thank you. And I believe you tested, it appears to me, and please refresh your memory if you need to, if we want to go to page 3 of the report, but it looks like you tested a total of 19 items that were brought to you. Is that right?
Correct.
And of those 19 items, were you asked to test an empty pill bottle, an empty hydrocodone pill bottle with residue on the inside of it?
I would have to refer to my notes.
Pause for 1 second. What's the objection? Mr. Burmester.
It exceeds the scope.
You want to make way approach?
Sure.
Oh, for the love of fuck.
Sidebar,
How does that
please.
exceed when you say, did you test stuff? Yes. They are asking, what was the stuff?
Yeah.
Why is...
Why do I feel like there's a trial we're not being shown? I feel like
Yeah.
okay, no offense, and Stranger Things was an okay ending, but they had that play that you were supposed to watch in London that I didn't watch, so I didn't understand 80% of what was going on.
This is pissing me off. Of what I know about this case, there is so much evidence. Why this? Oh, we don't want the defense to poke holes on this absolute shit investigation this seems to have been. So we won't say specifics. We just generally say. And Mo's frozen again. Yes, Sebastian. I mean, if the state continues, in this manner, I don't care how guilty I believe she is. She should walk. She should get away with murder because the state are being fucking imbeciles. And oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I just call the state imbeciles.
Oh, well.
Sidebar counter 26. No, I said, if the state continues down this path, she should walk.
Yeah, and with all the late last minute testing and searching that the state was doing, why didn't they test this hydrocodone bottle if they knew that this was going to be something that the defense was bringing up?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have that in the lab right now.
Is Nestor, the foundation objection is sustained. Would
Thank
you
you.
please lay some foundation?
I'd be happy to, Your Honor.
So I want to go back to the question I just asked you about the hydrocodone bottle. If you were presented with an item to test that was an empty pill bottle, what would you do to test that item?
To test that item, I would rinse it with methanol and then run our screening procedure.
Rinse the inside,
Correct.
and whatever residue would be inside that bottle, you would test it. And if there was none, you would say there's none.
Correct.
Right. So were you given the opportunity to do that with a hydrocodone bottle in this case?
I would have to refer to my notes, but I don't recall.
Please take a moment and let's let you go through the 19 items. Katie, can you start with one? And just when you're ready for us to go to the next page, sir, please let us know.
Oh, I will need to refer to my notes that I prepared that has descriptions of what I tested and what was inside of the packaging.
Have you provided those notes to anybody?
No, I don't. That's done through grandma requests.
Did you bring those notes with you today?
I did, yes.
Can you take a look at them?
Yes.
And can I see them for just a moment, please?
I can provide you with a copy of them. Yes.
Yes. Can we do that now? May I approach your honor?
Mr. Burmester, please. Counsel, if you need a brief recess to sort this out, let me know.
Yeah, I think it would be helpful.
Okay, folks, let's let you stretch your legs. Please rise for the jury.
Okay. They are sending the jury out.
Have a seat. Yeah, one of the two. If we're going to stay on the record, though, one of the two of you, Vor Dyer, the witness, about what he's referring to when he says.
Yeah, so
no.
what I'm referring to is just
Mr. Burmester's already there.
Again, sorry, Chris.
okay. I like
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, yeah.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah, so this just describes all the packaging and everything that's inside. So that's what I'm referring to when I see it. Yeah, sure. maybe the other.
So if you look at, for example, a plastic container containing like powder, you can't say that was a codone bottle.
Yes, it's associated. Yes, it is with this one.
Oh, got it.
Yes. Yes. And then there's a plastic container with white powder. Yes.
But that one had 11 times. So can you just look at your notes and see if you find anything?
First, what are you?
And Mo's gone again.
I'm asking if there's an empty hydrocodone bottle that you were asked to
Okay.
were allowed in the test of if there was.
Because I would have stated down here notes that in
Poor Mo and her internet. Why is he having notes that no? These notes should be in both the state's and the defense possession.
No, it doesn't appear like there was.
Yeah, I do believe Mo is about to become a Starlink customer. Yeah, I'm not blaming him at all, the witness, for anything. I'm just the state. Seriously, what's going on here? Why are they treating evidence as secrets they need to keep away from the jury?
Why are you saying this to me again? The who goes? Because there's no receipt. I'm not going to convert people, or I got to hear. They can just cool your debts. I don't need to do anything. Right? Well, maybe, but maybe not. We're going to find out when this Nobel warrant that's in existence was executed. I mean, forgive me. Now, well, 2019, but yeah.
Because they were still sealed. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah, they're
Now, my apologies. Okay.
Yes, there's Chrome but this is all the other submissions.
Okay, let's.
No, I agree.
Jeez.
I apologize.
Oh.
You okay?
Yeah, this chair's awful.
No, I agree. I
Jeez.
apologize.
I was expecting wheels.
You're the 10,000th person to say that. I'm so sorry. Ms. Nestor, anything else before we invite the jury back in?
No, sir. I only have a couple more.
Mr. Burmester, Mr. Bloodworth?
Nothing from the state.
Okay, let's invite the jury back in, please.
Is this my water?
I believe it is. You can use it. Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Let us know. Let us know. Your oath, please.
You had
Nestor's next question.
May it please the court. Okay, so we took a little break and you had an opportunity to review your notes that would refresh your recollection if you were handed or asked to test an empty hydrocodone bottle. After reviewing those notes, what is your answer to that question?
There was no empty bottle that was submitted for me to test.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, that's all I have. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
Mr. Burmester, anything?
So they have an OD of fentanyl. They found a bottle, 2016, but they did find, and they didn't test. Because when it comes to fentanyl, you can, to my knowledge, you can compare the chemical compounds to say, did this come from this bottle or from somewhere else? because the manufacturers, legal, of fentanyl often have slight differences. And also, if you test the compounds, street fentanyl, sometimes you can determine if it's made in Mexico, in the United States, overseas, because there are slight differences in the compound. As it seems, the state here did fuck all.
Further for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Counsel, may we release this witness?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Burmester?
Yes.
Mr. Holden, you're free to go. Thank you for your time.
Well, the guy who actually did the testing is not allowed to testify about what items he tested. But after a conference up at the bench, yes, they were allowed to ask one item that he didn't test. How in the love of fuck is that? Can that even be remotely a secret? What are the fucking laws in Utah and case law that allows the state to keep that kind of evidence from the jury?
Counsel, the state's next witness.
Your Honor, we're prepared to, but that might be splitting up a direct.
If you are comfortable doing that, I'm comfortable getting started. If you would prefer to not do that, I can understand why, and we can break for lunch now.
Your Honor, I think we also have some other issues to discuss. So maybe if we were to break for lunch now, we could discuss those other issues outside the presence of the jury.
That's fine.
And then maybe reconvene 12:30.
I think that's fair. Does that work, Ms. Nestor?
Yes. Yes.
All right, folks. Counsel, would you approach for a minute?
And we have a sidebar. Sidebar counter 27! But seriously, what the actual F is going on here? Oh, I can remove that. I don't know what the next witness is. Here's what I know. Due to Mo, her internet crashed again. So I will go as long as there is something to talk about. I will go on. And here's what we will do. We will catch the afternoon tomorrow morning. We will start an hour and a half earlier, or something of the sort, as we did yesterday, and go through the afternoon's witnesses. Because if there is this many breaks all the time today, then yeah. But it seems like their next witness will be a lengthy one. Yeah, how could they not test the empty pill bottle? This is insanity.
For lunch. It is 11:25. Food will be here by 11:45, but this is a longer recess than we've taken the last few days. And so I'd understand if you want to get some sunshine, go get a cup of coffee, check on a family member, whatever. If you decide to leave the courthouse, which you are allowed to do, please remember the court's instructions. Do not speak about the case. Do not let anyone else speak to you about the case. If anybody in the outside world attempts to speak to you about the case, I need to know when you come back. Please do not listen to any radio or other media reports about the case. Please don't read any headlines about it. Please don't post anything about it. Please be back ready to go at 12:30. We will have lunch for you around 11:45 if that's something you're interested in. Please rise for the jury. Have a seat. Mr. Bloodworth, we're on the record.
Your Honor, the state would like to make a record of, and I guess ask for reconsideration at the same time, what we discussed at a bench conference.
Can't go back in time, but you can make a record.
I appreciate it. It
Yeah.
may be more prophylactic than retrospective.
If when you're making this record, you would please remember that the court's ruling on any one objection to any one form of question is not necessarily a predictor of how it will rule on the form of a future question.
Understood and agreed, Your Honor. Yeah. The issue has come up where defense counsel is using hypotheticals with fact witnesses, and hypotheticals kind of are treated differently between expert witnesses and fact witnesses. It is the state's read of Utah law, and let me give the court a cite, please.
Oh, you sneaky motherfucker. You're not proffering your forensic people as experts to avoid that the defense gives hypotheticals. Then what are your... Okay, now officially, state is playing games. They are desperately avoiding to give the whole truth to the jury to decide on. They are basically forcing the defense at this point in time. They might call experts, I don't know, but they are basically forcing the defense to call their experts to testify. But they don't have the capabilities the state's witnesses have, or the state have. That is so disingenuous.
Of Transportation versus 6200 South Associates, 872 P second 462. Quick and dirty, that's kind of, I think, the case, at least to start with. I also think, to be fair, it's a little unclear because it deals with hypotheticals in a expert witness context versus a fact witness context. But it's the state's read of Utah law that for a fact witness, a hypothetical has to involve admissible evidence. I think the defense, and I can give examples, I have a dirty of this morning's transcript, is presenting hypotheticals to fact witnesses based on inadmissible evidence. That inadmissible evidence is statements of the defendant that I do not see a hearsay exception to. Now,
okay, I see where he's going. It is the hypotheticals she gave the ME who were like to more or less all of them, because the state refuses to put on witnesses that actually talks about the actual evidence.
so I don't think those hypotheticals are, as a matter of law, permissible. Now, I can see a read under Utah Department of Transportation where it is in the discretion, it is in the court's discretion whether to admit those hypotheticals. And if that is the proper read of it, I don't think it is, but it might be, then the state asserts that in these instances, the court should exercise its discretion and exclude the defendant's, the kind of the defense counsel's hypotheticals that are based on inadmissible, self-serving evidence of defendant's statements.
Timely objection. That goes for the defense and the state.
That's the issue, Your Honor.
I appreciate the record. Just practically speaking, on a going forward basis, I think it would be helpful to me and opposing counsel if when the state is objecting on this basis, you just stand up and say objection foundation. Let's see if they rephrase or if they push back, and then I can exercise discretion as appropriate.
Will do, yeah.
Okay. May I also just ask a favor? Can we have a one horse, one rider rule going forward at Sidebar? You're, of course, allowed to confer, act as a team, but I just need one speaker from each side of the V at the Sidebar.
Appreciate that, Your Honor. Certainly. Can I clarify one thing?
Sure.
Does the rider at Sidebar?
Hey.
Hello.
So the state objected, or after the fact objection.
Yeah,
to the
I was
judge
watching
about
you. Hypotheticals is
Yeah, because the witness wasn't proffered as an expert witness. Yeah, but then you do your damn objection, do your job,
Yeah.
counsel.
Yeah, I mean, also, could you maybe work on vocal training? He's so campy.
He looks like drawn out of the Godfather movies.
Yeah, but then he sounds like the one guy, the middle square on the old Hollywood squares, the really camp, very glib guy.
Yeah,
So
I know. I watched clips where sometimes he shows up and he's very flamboyant.
well, that's why I said camp, because I didn't know what I was allowed to say.
Hmm.
Well, you live in Sweden. I'm not going to get arrested for anything I say.
Paul
Yet.
Lynn, yeah, Paul Lynn.
Yes.
Oh, he was funny.
I loved him.
There was no hiding of anything with that guy. No hiding whatsoever.
No, I just thought all guys in Hollywood were really funny. I didn't realize there were other aspects to his personality.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, but as the judge just said, opposing counsel and me, as the judge said, would appreciate that you just stand up, say objection, foundation, see if they push back, and then the judge can do his ruling, use his discretion. But if you don't object, then the self-serving things are admissible questions, and so are the answers.
Yeah, and I mean, isn't he by definition an expert because the state uses him as such on a routine basis?
Yeah, but they actually only use them as fact witnesses, not as expert witnesses, which generally I want this separation between a fact witness and an expert witness. But then where's your damn expert witness then?
Yeah, I mean, I have never had a case, and this is going back 4 years, where we've had a witness testify to something, testing items that we don't know what the hell was tested, other than we know what wasn't tested.
Yeah. I'm still so annoyed with them treating every piece of evidence like it's the Coca-Cola recipe. No, the jury can't know about this. And this was the fact witness we just saw, the previous ones as well. Those were the dudes and dudettes that actually did the collecting and testing and all the things. What are you hiding?
Yeah, it's just not making a story.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Or have to be the same writer that's examining the witness.
That would typically be the rule, but we can just agree that that's not going to be the case. I'm not sure how you feel about your team dynamics if the person behind you is jumping up to object. And
I appreciate that, but I think
so.
Ms. Nestor has often argued regardless, and I have often argued regardless.
So what I'm asking for going forward, and if you would please just give it the college try, on a going forward basis that, for example, this is just an example, I'm not picking on anybody. If Mr. Burmester is examining the witness and an objection is made, you're welcome to confer with him right here as he comes up, but I need Mr. Burmester to be the one talking into the mic.
Will do.
Okay, any objection, Ms. Nestor?
No, sir, we would appreciate that.
Okay, Ms. Lewis, you're about to say something.
No,
Okay.
I agree.
All right, anything else on the record before we recess for lunch? Mr. Blever?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, Mr. Ramos?
Noted.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We will be back on the record at 12:30. I need to make this crystal clear. If any of you see a juror out in the wild, you need to turn around and walk the other way. I cannot emphasize this more heavily. All right, 12:30, we're in recess.
Okay. That was day 4, morning session. I'm
Yeah,
pissed off, Mo. I'm genuinely pissed off.
yeah, I mean, I've waited for this trial and I specifically haven't gone, into a lot of depth because I wanted to be as unbiased, but as an outside observer who doesn't know diddly crud about this case, the state is pissing me off.
Yeah.
I've sat here for 4 days and I don't know any more than what I knew from your opening statement. You haven't proved anything else to me other than your base fact. And why is the defense asking if they tested for hydrocodone? There was none in his blood system.
Yeah.
Why?
I think they want to know if something else was stored in the bottles. So they're trying to do, I don't know, a reach around the apparently there's some kind of weird ruling about asking if they tested for fentanyl in any of the pills and bottles for reasons unknown to me. So they're trying to go around that by asking, did you test for this? Did you test for that? Just to emphasize to the jury, they didn't test.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much of this doesn't make sense. And you would think with as high profile, as long as we've waited for this trial, this would be planned down. They would have strategies. They would have all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. We're on day 4. We heard from the medical examiner, the coroner, who actually did the cutting. We heard from the toxicologist. We heard from the test person. We heard from the person who took phones and did extractions. But we don't know what they found. Well, except the ME who did inconclusive on the thing. But that's about it. So all we have is a sister and her husband doing really, really didn't like their sister-in-law.
Yeah, I mean, right now it looks like a vendetta, and then the police were like, "Oh, you guys found stuff? Thanks for doing our job for us."
Yeah. Yeah, this is annoying. This is really annoying. Another thing that's kind of bugging me is everybody on social media is tearing on the defense. I think the defense is doing as good as they can. Especially, I always said they had the facts against them, but they're not even allowed to talk about the facts, it seems, in this courtroom.
No, but I have not been impressed with the state. Now, my internet, connection has been intermittent, but I get not liking Kouri. Look, Kouri doesn't seem like a real peach. She seems like a real butt monkey.
Yeah.
But I think the defense, apart from that one Shatner, lesbian experience we had, I think they've been pretty good, and they're asking the right questions. Yeah, they might be pedantic. Yeah, they might be annoying. But these are the kind of questions you ask when you're holding the state to its burden of proof. Why did you go back 10 times? I mean, that hasn't been made clear. It's like, well, we got evidence. Well, what kind of evidence, Cletus?
Yeah.
From where? From what? What evidence?
Yeah. Why would you not want the jury to see what items you tested? From who, besides the person who actually did the testing? Who is going to testify about it?
I shouldn't be this confused at the close to the close of the first week. I should have a really good idea of what the state is trying to tell me. And I don't know if they were thinking there wasn't going to be cross-examination or as much.
Yeah.
But I have never been this confused with a state's case. I mean, even Uvalde, went on a sort of, chronological sort of logic train. I mean, and even the state was bad in that, but at least they kind of had a
they had a
sort of
theory of their case,
organization.
and they didn't try to hide any evidence. They just tried to make the jury have a different interpretation than what the photos and videos actually showed. But they still showed it.
Yeah, this is a very odd, and I don't believe I was doing trials or I didn't do the Lori Vallow and I didn't do the Chad Daybell. So maybe I'm going to go back and watch those to see if maybe it's a Utah thing.
Yeah.
This sort of awkward, you have to stay within this very small scope for these witnesses.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this weekend, assuming I get internet, we can go back through some of the pre-trial hearings to see if maybe this was fought out in motions in limine.
Yeah,
but I don't see the strategy behind either side wanting to do that.
No. I mean, the defense, of course, wants to poke hole in the investigation and in the testing. And the strategy from the state seems to be, let's not introduce it. And let's just go with the story that she did it. Here's how suspicious she acted before and after.
Yeah, I mean, because in the Canero case, I will say that it started pretty slowly and they did focus on the finance stuff first. But once we got to the red rum part, they stuck with that and they had a coherent thing. They took you from, the beginning of the evening to the end of the evening. This is just like, hey, spaghetti, and then throw it against the wall.
Yeah. Now, Mo, are you going to try to stream the afternoon?
I am going to try. I am currently without internet. If I do get internet and you see the stream go away, it's because I didn't get internet. So that's
and if that happens, we will start early tomorrow morning.
Yes, because the mornings seem fine. I don't know if Nick, can I do a union test on my internet? I think that my internet has joined a union where it only works till noon.
Yeah, it only works union office hours, which is every Tuesday between 8:30 and 8:32.
Yes, pretty much.
And you still have to have a break.
Yeah. By appointment only.
By appointment only. And we won't give you the phone number to make an appointment.
Pretty much.
Figure it out, just like the state here. But yeah, I will send you all over to Mo's afternoon stream. And let's hope her internet decides to not do Lori Daybell on her. And
let's hope.
Let's hope. And I will try to pop in.
Okay, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys. Hit the thumbs up. Go subscribe to Mo. I'm going to send you over. And folks, I made video while I
Ooh.
listen to this. So you're going to have a revised version of Santa Claus and Sailor Mo.
I like it.
See ya.
Bye, you guys.